Tawi Amekufuado. Now, point 2, or say, the legal basis of my petition is Article 1461 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. For the avoidance of doubt, my petition focuses on stated misbehavior and incompetence related to the Chief Justice's administrative functions as head of the judiciary responsible for its supervision and administration under Article 1254 of the Constitution. Or say, adekudientia or jina so the original so edia kache nana danko kufuado say ompam Chief Justice Madam Tokonu say Ghana Constitution no baby say oye Chief Justice ana oye nipa sebio constitution no ama ho kwan say di dwuma bi na wendia constitution so esa ewo emre bi a ekire say wendi odwuma ye se ne etia o se egina sa constitution so esa yi to akonwa nti eno na ogina so e de aka che kufuado say ompam osono ma me sorry ompam Madam Tokonu a oye Chief Justice. Also, my petition does not arise from the Chief Justice's exercise of her judicial functions. Accordingly, the petition does not challenge any decisions, orders, or directive issued by the Chief Justice in the performance of her duties as a Justice of the Supreme Court, including those made to enforce judgments, decrees, or others in cases she has adjudicated. I fully understand, respect, and value the importance of decisional independence. Or see, Mr. President, Krata or Tramano, Sebio, Emfa asama Chief Justice atna so edi or say any dia emfa ho or say obu Ghana mra obu eye edwuma omedi no court eye Supreme Court any court aka or say sa the petition or tree enye case bi a Chief Justice any Supreme Court judges bi tena so and say Chief Justice na tena so e na all ka ho asem eno de sebio ohu ni say eye edwuma wo so odi na eye petition or tree no eye nyoma mienu Odinka ase ana aka ho asem ene na ogina so intimema Mr. President wa adwenya wo say atemkuruwa ana say judgment bi a Chief Justice ajage wa asem bi so ankoye ana say bi a webu asem bi asebio na eni ne kwan so say enye anu nti ena ochro say yenyi Chief Justice emfiri de the position as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Okon enim no say and point 4 or say it is my understanding that upon the receipt of this petition, Your Excellency shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices, Supreme Court, one of whom shall appoint as chairman, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. See Article 146 of the Constitution. Also, petition Mr. President, you know, so petition will become on sir. They also we because Ghana Mrano say the petition say betu nsema ye wo emra bia wo se wudi so sebio eye article 1466 ene na kire de wo se wo ye into onsaka eye petition we no emra no eda ho into di mra no so na ye nhwe sene asem we no ebekọ na all can say emra no say so onsaka petition one they also we ne say first of all I was say we den ofa eye judge for mienu a sebio omo Supreme Court sia obete committee ana eye nipakuo bi a omo no mbehwehwe asem we mu no na constitution no kire e wo article 46:6 say e wo say ofa eye 2 Supreme Court judges e wo sa committee no so no now ena o say 2 justices 2 Supreme Court justices includes those made to enforce judgment, decrees or orders in case. No, let me go here. 2 Supreme Court judges, one whom you shall appoint as a chairman. Or say, Mr. President, Embraniche say, or say, Supreme Court, Obeti Committee, Mama Hasemwima. Also, we judges many free Supreme Court. Or Sabako and a chairman of Edian Sa Committee, no, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State. Into also Council of State in the one. So Embraniche say, Council of State in Article 146 nature say, and this we nipa bia every Council of State, or say Ukoyi nipa. Bemian Sefri Abontinia, Omuni Council of State in Mukra, into 2 judges from the Supreme Court, Baku, and also a chairman of the committee, and I also Osaka Fanipa Mensah, Omon Council of State for one home, and I also a yadiang Omonka Nipa Ukofanipa Mensah Bekamwa, Sanipa, and he said Omoka Parliament, and he said Sebio Omuye lawyers, and he said Sebio Omuye Council of State members. I will say, oh, independent. They are not supposed to be Council of State members. They are not supposed to be lawyers. They are not supposed to be they are not supposed to be members of parliament. You just have to take 2 Supreme Court judges, make one the chairman, and go out there and pick 2 or 3 people who are independent-minded to be part of that committee to sit on the Chief Justice Assembly. So, now, it is my further understanding that the committee shall inquire into the petition and recommend to you whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office on the grounds maintained in this petition. I affirm my understanding that all proceedings herein shall be held in camera, and the Chief Justice is entitled to be heard in her defense by herself or by a lawyer or other expert of her choice. Or say, ebe kono say senior ye kwe enim no e wo say eye de asem we no u make sure say ubetumi ede eye petition we ebema committee no committee na ebeye 2 judges from the Supreme Court baako be chairman na nipa be Mensah omu free abonten omu free parliament emfree omu nya lawyers omu nya state council of state members sa nipa be na enum no e wo so the petition we edema omu no see Mr. President ebe fe say asem we no ye be nyina ye be hwe no TV so na Ghana ni bia ehun say ye nka asem entu Chief Justice so intinka ebe ye Sanka Mr. President say assembly mu beda ho kroje ne de anka Chief Justice nankasa obepene a o sanka assembly ye nyina yetena camera mu na Ghana fo nyina hwe bi na yetoto nano na yenhu say eye petition we engineer so wo mu anasa engineer so nim enjudwemu no na o kirechire mu no. Now point 6. It is therefore my understanding that Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, shall act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee, that is see Article 1469 to 1466 to 9. Or say, ebene de Mr. President, says our petition we no, sebio ube make sure say eye committee no anyone kasa mwedi mraso because Ghana mrano emra dawa sebio ehye wo president any sa committee ni say omo be ye den omo be di asem wechi emiako edi asem no krogin sene tie. Now, I find that Obeche the background, the original so, the actress our petition way, the original so, in some original soon to see Chief Justice, Madam Tokunu, Enisa or Chief Justice of Ghana. And no, I see a maybe you actual into Obia say, Papa, your letter come for the say on Pam Chief Justice. A dear Pana Chief Justice, a dear engineer so, and a original so, I catch a for the say, on T committee, na yam Pam a Chief Justice, because with dear bro. Why nyome bia sebio your constitution and I say embra ebo Ghana ho ban esabo eye judiciary no ban no we tietia so and I say we mumbra no. Now I feel over the original so the actual petition we any friend of background. Now background also request for the appointment of 5 justices of appeal to the Supreme Court. Or say adeba kwa Chief Justice here na etiamra e wo se gina so e de pam no e mane ko tene fie ma sebi oni pe bi be hye nanan ne se eye Madam Tokonu a oye Chief Justice of Ghana oye se onu ankasa de ne pe e be appointi eye judge fo num bra eye Ghana mra no etia into o se ingina so no ba ko edi nkan ne se eye Madam Tokonu oye Chief Justice no o de onu an pe appointee now person appointed judge for num eco Supreme Court. Now in by a letter dated 30th May 2024, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana formally wrote to Your Excellency, specifically requesting the appointment of the following 5 judges of the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court of Ghana. Or say a 30th May. May da 30th May 2024 afiwe mu no Madam Tokonu chro letter bre wo na na do danko ekufuado na letter na o chro bre wo no or the judge for enum omo ye appeals court judges for enum the bre wo say sankofo no make sure say obema sankofo no abewura Supreme Court na judge for enum Madam Tokonu petition and asem o kan no kwesi kweku aza asem o kan say 30th May this year no Madam Tokonu should actual secret letter the komeku for the say oh judge for numu we die ye fast the for Bobra Supreme Court itiamra article 146 to 9 no 1466 to 9 no itia Or say sa judge for na ya no mo appeals court judges yi omunie. 81 petitioner and I say Kweku Azar and I Mr. Kweku Azar no wachre wabo dates into a very important date wom now judge for 9 no mo appeals court judge no omunie. His Lordship Justice Edward Amwakwa Santi JA. Her Ladyship Justice Angelina Mensah Homia. His Lordship Justice Eric Chebafo. Her Ladyship Justice Syria Pamela C.A. Kranting J.A. Her Ladyship Justice Efia Asariboche J.A. Also sa judge for a numwe secretly. Madam Tokonu extra letter koma ekufu ade say on make sure say obe present o mama parliament me de omode abahin Supreme Court. Ghana mrano eyade tia. Chief Justice enkoshe kukuo mu ntro letter nkoma president say president nipa numwe for mobra Supreme Court no into say we bi ni nyoma ogina so now time a Chief Justice extra sa krata ne koma President Akufo-Addo say onfa koti kwan bi so na onfa sa judge for enum wei embra Supreme Court emma no ono ana adwene mu no ochro note bi to so nyoma bi a ochro ka ho a kire se e wo se Akufo-Addo emma sa judge for wei kwan se bi ono na pese omoba Supreme Court commenter Chief Justice Echro fa judge for bi e wo sa letter no ni regarding His Lordship Edward Amwakwa Asante judge ba kwa na efe no Edward Amwakwa Asante no Chief Justice toko no tro letter ne say no ochro fa no ho o say Justice Asante's term of office at the ECOWAS court ended on 31st July 2022. He was requested to remain at post on account of the withdrawal of Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso from the community. His current tenure is expected to end in 2026 or earlier when he is expected to return to Ghana's judiciary. Now, later no, Chief Justice Echro say, His Lordship has provided. The letter goes on to say that, Osachro say, His Lordship has provided excellent leadership as president of the ECOWAS court and will undoubtedly be an invaluable asset on the Supreme Court of Ghana. Chief Justice Chro Sakratano secret letter come Akufo-Addo say, judge your friend Edward Amwakwa Asante no. Adikudientia on Chief Justice instructed on Akufo-Addo come with bom. Say Emfanembra Supreme Court and say, Sa judge no or ECOWAS court. Na Madam Toko say, oh, sa judge ne de miamini pano no wa ya de say wa born ho modern say mini pa say oba na oba Ghana Supreme Court oba be di dwuma aboaye ene na wa letter nim into say sa nyoma we Chief Justice Troye e wa letter nim no e na kire say Chief Justice na boapayo ni da ho and all selected the Black Star players through the president to come to the Supreme Court. Or say regarding His Lordship Justice Eric Chebafo and their Ladyship Angelina Mensah Homea, Syria Pamela Kranting, and Ifua Sariboche. However, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, wrote that day. Or see, judges for an Canadian, Mukai Judge Chebafo. Judge Chebafo no catch them or the warrant at Thomas forever and ever. Mukai. Aha. Or then your friend Judge Chebafo. Yaniko appeals court or no na okanwa Chief Justice say by force or person of akuti kwanso edeniko Supreme Court inti judge Chebafo na oka judge for enum no ho first one dey no ECOWAS court judge okan ho asem tro the reason tie Akufo-Addo Mfanembra Supreme Court now for na aka no letter na Madam Tokonu secretly echekom Akufo-Addo no this is what she said about the 4 judges left or say all these 4 judges, and I quote, are currently working as judges of the Court of Appeal. Their work has been distinguished by outstanding services, courage, and competence. End of quote. The grave nature of the Chief Justice's role in requesting the appointment of the said justices to the Supreme Court became evident when subsequently social media published another letter dated 7 February 2024 from the Chief Justice to Your Excellency. In the Judge 44 now, can the Chief Justice letter was actually my Akufo-Addo say, oh, when would ye? Why wouldn't you yankofo oma bom ho modin ye inti hwem Justice Chebafo or na de warrant to Kevin Taylor so no inti sankofo no maka no make sure so mo nyina letter we no mo din hwem inti a protocol list and a Chief Justice Kotonu a also oye de oye neutral no okuta ni protocol list or de koma Akufo-Addo say for mo bra Supreme Court. Mr. P. Yeah, okay, so that's the letter, right? Okay, me team this for letter before we move forward. This is the letter now. The petitioner is talking about in the petition. My letter na yen twaso sene beya obi abehu asama ye kano enye atro na yedi ediato Chief Justice Tokonuso. So this is the letter. Letter when Chief Justice etro koma Ekufuado a petitioner Kweku Asare chechiri mu achi Ekufuado say we etiamra. Intuition letter na His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Osha top one, Honorable Chief Justice. Date shower 30th May 2024. Meaning the petitioner Kweku Asare no wabo date date no ewo letter no wo ho say Chief Justice Madam Tokonu saa no. Since letter we ba abontene Madam Tokonu ba abontene kaka say enyo no the secret letter we or the protocol list come Akufo-Addo say omo mumbra Supreme Court. This is the letter. Osha, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, blah, 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 blah. Your Excellency, proposal for appointment of 5 judges to the Supreme Court. Chief Justice Natural letter we come Akufo-Addo. It was intercepted. It was published on social media. The basis in tia or Chief Justice. Na odi protocol list ko akope ni pebe obetuma ye dwuma bia ma no e Supreme Court e na ye che no. You can see the Chief Justice, the protocol list in the secret letter he wrote to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I write to respectfully request that the following judges be appointed to the Supreme Court. This was a request. The Chief Justice, Catcher President said, Momumbra Supreme Court. This is dangerous. You have a protocol list in the Supreme Court and to become a Supreme Court judge. But the Chief Justice, Madam Tokonu, did that. And it's a petition and now watch letter come Akufo-Addo say many a pamono because when you do this you have committed a crime. And the Constitution states it clearly. Article 1466 Article 1466 to 9 no, it is clearly say you cannot use that your position to influence positions to the Supreme Court. Clearly no our reason and basis in tia watch letter come Akufo-Addo say pam Madam Tokonu letter nini, that's the evidence. Now mommy and back to the petition. Send a Ghana for ebe to me who said the ekosono enie. Now petition uko wedima. Or see, even on the 7th of February 2024, 7th February 2024, is captioned brief on the need for the minimum number of 20 judges on Ghana's Supreme Court bench. In the said letter, the Chief Justice stated that almost say 7th February 2024, the Chief Justice Madam Tokonu saw another letter. A letter of such a Akufo-Addo no or stating reasons in tia and what say or no and making sure say judges almost Supreme Court no you move on 20. It's the reason tia na onya ne protocol list say Akufo-Addo do munyina beba ne say na ono no opese o move Ghana Supreme Court judges no etu the 20 opese o muye 20 America kakrakei the Supreme Court judges ye 9. And so Madam Tokonu any Akufo-Addo atro mo letter Emma omo ye plan say e wo say ye den ye move ye Supreme Court no judges no numbers no echo 20. Now tie letter na Madam Tokonu tro come Akufo-Addo no on the 7th of February 2024 no. Mr. Okay, so letter so me team ne dia, but I will show you that letter on February 7th. I will tro come Akufo-Addo no. I will show you the letter before I read. Letter ni. Thank you, Mr. P. Thank you, Mr. S. Thank you for bringing in this letter. Now, me team is having letter. This is the letter Otrono on the 7th of February. Or Sakache Akufo-Addo. First letter the 30th May. Or catch 2022 no. Odin Kakache Akufo-Addo say on for 5 judges we mra. And at 2024 7th February no. Or some reasons in tia. Also or person or move judges no to 20. Now this is the letter Otroye on the 7th of February 2024. Na or insist to say or pese o movie judges no 20 where ye Madam Tokonu ne terminal report na me read actually no. Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, 7th February 2024. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Office of the President, Jubilee House, into letter na Madam Tokonu Chokome Akufo-Addo na brief on the need for a minimum number of 20 judges on Ghana's Supreme Court bench. Into Otro Kome Akufo-Addo say after all the protocol list of 5 commanders on for member Supreme Court no appeals court judges no or Saba 2024 be man reasons in tra or person also expanded judges almost Supreme Court to 20. Now, this is the letter. I'll say, respectfully, I write in reference to our previous discussion on the Chief Justice's proposal for an increase in the number of justices of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Kindly find attached a paper justifying the need for the request. Thank you very much. Madam Tokonu, Nidine Shasiano, into Chief Justice Nankasana Chokome Kufuado, say, the reason there's a need for a Ghana judges now in the Supreme Court, or no, after bringing 5 protocol lists, from appeals court, or sa insist say or say my judges no could do 20. Yanko kind petition in the womb. It's own petitioner, he was telling you evidence or show evidence any embra Chief Justice Tokonu Ebuso. Now, point 13. Or say the above quotation suggests that there has been a previous discussion on the subject between Chief Justice and the President. It is already letana quotation and caption say Chief Justice ne Ekufuado didn't plan. Now they wanted to make it official. Into petition say so already letter here only say President Ekufuado ne Madam Tokonu Trase and I'm planning say the protocol list of 5. Madam Tokonu de Bebreno, now we pass on the Supreme Court. Oh, yeah, now we saw the Krataba in Jinaswa, or per se, or be judges remove more, MME 20 Supreme Court, until they had planned it. And a petition and say, so already documentations now following now. A chance Kufuado and Madam Tokonu, Omotinas, no more plan say, the protocol list the Beba Supreme Court, we are no say be judges room to 20. Now, petition and him not say, point 14. Of concern to your petitioner is the fact that both letters, one proposing an increase in the minimum number of justices on the Supreme Court of Ghana and other requesting 5 specific judges to be appointed to the Supreme Court, were written on the letterhead of the Chief Justice and clearly expressed itself as the Chief Justice's personal request on the matter. The letter did not refer to any consultation or involvement of the Judicial Council, of which the Chief Justice is a member and within whose constitutional mandate it lies to deal with matters relating to the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court. Or see, petitioner said, Usha letter Mirina Chief Justice Electoral Commission and Danko Kufuado. Let me put it on the screen. Senebeya Obetiasie. Usha these 2 letters are Madam Tokonu Electoral Commission and another Danko Kufuado now. You can see clearly say the letters were coming from the office of the Chief Justice. Now, the money who say you be a for the Judicial Council. Judicial Council no embrasho mo say you per se ya appoint a judge phobia at the Supreme Court. E was say Judicial Council no netrase. Na omo yem pensempensemu ehwe mu mra edwindwene ho eti ase say we die a good decision and I say a good decision. Judge we qualify and so qualify. Petition and natural petition no kweku azaka che Kufuado say. Uhwe 2 letters na Madam Tokonu Chirobra first one say Sebio or the 5 protocol list or Nwankasa hand-picked judges. And the second one or Troya or say the reason why into a person obey judges now was Supreme Court to 20 no. Usha letter ni mienua letterhead if you on Nwankasa office. There is nowhere in the letter as site say she consulted the General Legal Counsel. And I say she consulted what we call where's the name? The Judicial Council. There's nothing on this letter, sir. Say the Chief Justice consulted the Judicial Council. It means to say that decision was solely taken by the Chief Justice herself, which is against IMRA. So the Chief Justice is now Mugabe. The Chief Justice is now an authoritarian. The Chief Justice is now running the Supreme Court or the judicial service and the judicial system as her own property because she's sending letters to the Jubilee House with her letterhead, and in the letter she did not state anywhere that she had consulted the Judicial Council on this matter. So clearly the Chief Justice has breached the law. She is basically being an autocratic leader. She is misbehaving. That's amount to misbehavior and it's countermount to the sacking of the Chief Justice. This is the petitioner's reason. Until Nanado Danko Kufuado or say Opam Madam Tokonu, and he's not just stating the things. He's using facts. He's using articles. He's using the Constitution and making the president understand the say. Emrana Bogana Homebane say it was Chief Justice taking a say steps way. So when taking steps way, and nobody is supposed to allow her to be as to be there as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Now, Yanko point 15. Point 15 in the petition. Team, are we good? Thank you, team. Thank you. You know, sir, we do live production. When I need something, the team will pull it. So that's how it works. Now, when you go to point 15 in the petitioner page 3 out of 19. Hey, asamoho. Point 15 say, your petitioner is further concerned by the reference to an earlier discussion between the Chief Justice and Your Excellency the President on the proposal to increase the number of justices on the Supreme Court. Your petitioner also notes that the question of minimum number of justices on the Supreme Court is settled by Article 1281 of the Constitution, which provides that the Supreme Court, and I quote, the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court, end of quote. Or see, petitioner say, say Nana Dan Kwekufuado wunim se emrada ho a ekire say ye Supreme Court nanka say de I say a Chief Justice any 9 judges om kan homa ne 10 and I was say om wo at the same time inti aye day na Chief Justice Madam Tokonu a onum Ghana mra nyina no etumi tro letter bra o ka kire say opese or expand adia constitution e say ketin. These are entrenched laws. Constitution e say I was say a Supreme Court no at every given time or say judges 10 ho Chief Justice plus 9 judges. Now, you, the president, who is a lawyer, a so-called lawyer, who knows the law, so Chief Justice actually let us say, Edia bro, say, even though she knows the Constitution states this emphatically that you cannot exceed 10. No? Why did you, at the end of the day, not raise any concern into the petitioner now or letter for say a shocking? The president does not respect the Constitution, and the Chief Justice does not respect the Constitution because it has been stated in the Constitution. So, Article 1281, say at a given time, no, you have 10 judges at the Supreme Court, Chief Justice plus 9. In a Chief Justice to let a president to say, Mr. President, me 20. It means somebody is taking advantage of the Constitution. Somebody is abusing their office. It's either you, the president, or the Chief Justice. Now, the Chief Justice has to go because the petition is directed at the Chief Justice. Now, let's go to point 16. Ghana for Obiati. This is how it's going to be done from today. Sani ebeno yadeno kure na bebo Ghana ho ban. Sani beya obin to mean ko twist in Sembia and kuka in Sembian to biaso. 2016. The plain meaning of Article 1281 is that the minimum number of justices for the Supreme Court is 10. Thus, an amendment of the Constitution is the lawful way to change the minimum, not by a private discussion or communication between the Chief Justice and the President. It is Parliament that has the power to amend the Constitution, Article 289 of the 1992 Constitution. In the petition, I catch Mr. Kufuado. Ghana Mrana Che says, part of the Constitution, Article 1281 of the Constitution, I say, it was say at any time we be yet Supreme Court, no, judges all include the Chief Justice yet 10. No, it is only amendment. Yakasa amendment. Part of the Constitution 128.1. No, it was say, yes, sacrim, yadi and saka, any of an amendment. Yes, sasha nibium say a bed done kakra. So far, amendment be by it. And at the end of the day, say some run required and Sabeka, I can say judges 10 or more Supreme Court, I will say in the 20 year. I will see this sa a day and Mrano echo do parliament. Not parliament a deliberate near to Swaba and Sunny Ajat to say, you per se you expanded the number of judges at the Supreme Court. But Social Lieutenant Chief Justice Chokoma Ikufuadana, it is looking like they have ignored the procedure and process. And it is beginning to look like a personal vendetta, a personal agenda. A Chief Justice Kufuado are conniving behind the scenes to slaughter the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Into the petition, I say, what he is seeing, and he say, you, the President and the Chief Justice, you have connived because from the correspondence, from the letter, no, the Chief Justice is basically flouting the laws. She's going against the Constitution of the Republic. Chief Justice now, or the Supreme Court, are interpreting Constitution. No, she is basically doing what? Fucking the Constitution. She is basically murdering the Constitution. Or Danny who say I am interpreting it. Or Danny who say then she is murdering it. And then a petitioner, Asareka say, Nana Danko Kufuado, what we are seeing, no, it is looking like Chief Justice no onewo afa Ghana judiciary say more personal property. Now, point 17. Further, your petitioner has reliable information that a meeting of the Judicial Council held on 14 June 2024, the Chief Justice expressed her desire to increase the number of Supreme Court justices, whereupon the Council advised her ladyship to pursue broader consultation with other institutions on the matter, especially the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Or say, Mr. President, petitioner said, Mr. President, the Chief Justice at a meeting a course between the Chief Justice and the Judicial Council no, on the 14th of June 2024 no, was stated amount date. Chief Justice echo meeting as no crazy say, oh, me perceive me increases the number of people on the Supreme Court bench. And the Judicial Council focus the Chief Justice. Sa same way, and yet easy sa because constitutional a barrier a jinaso. In Tinkebeya and Chief Justice, ye ending kind and consult Ghana for yina. Ye consult Parliament. Ni any Parliament in Tenassi and pense mu. Send ye beya ye bet me to sana more way and so Chief Justice NTA. I'll see meeting also on the 14th of June 2024. Meaning, at that meeting, the Judicial Council told her that if she solely take that decision, it is against the law. So she knew that the intent was to commit a crime. From what the petitioner is saying, Chief Justice had an advice from the Judicial Council telling her that do not even think about it. But the Chief Justice, upon all the advice she was given, in this point, you will say the legal advisors of the Chief Justice was the Judicial Council, but she ignored their legal advice and decided to take her own decision. And no enema who said she flouted the law and became an autocrat and decided to subdue the Constitution to benefit herself by selecting 5 individuals she thinks are her boys and girls that can work with her. And also, her herself decided to expand the number of judges on the Supreme Court bench. It is dangerous. It means the Chief Justice has stabbed the Constitution in the heart. And as a person, personally, she wants to run the Supreme Court like her own business. On the 14th of June, Judicial Council for catch and say, hey, idea we're dangerous. We need broader consultation. And even after the broader consultation, I was say you call Parliament, any Parliament, and some person will President, but Chief Justice told them they should go fuck themselves. She knows what she's doing. And it's another petition, and say, let us a sound to say when the president and the Chief Justice wedding come with Chile and a more plan. Petition point 18. Point 18. The petitioner, the Ochema, the Kudientia was a Chief Justice, a Pamano Enie. What again? Which one is this? Okay, so my team is a Mensah a constitution in Chiramo. Article now the petitioner Edeka the Supreme Court. How many judges is supposed to have at a given time? We need to make sure the facts are stated on the show. Now, so Ghana, chapter 11, the judiciary. This is what it says about the number of judges are also at the Supreme Court. And so, the petitioner has a case. Now, 128.1 na petitioner estate the petition no or say constitution say the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. In the Constitution, it makes it clear, and Chief Justice Kotonu, who is supposed to interpret the Constitution, knows this. Even at a meeting where the Judicial Council advised her that do not do this without broader consultation and also consulting Parliament, she still flouted the law, went against the law, and decided to go behind the scenes to work this thing out with the Kufuor to bring their shortlisted judges to the Supreme Court. The petitioner is telling you, say, Emra ewo a Chief Justice abokro no enie inti yengina so ne pamono. Let's go back to the Constitution. Thank you very much, team. Now let's go back to the Constitution. Hey, let's go back to the petition. Petition point 18, page 3 out of 19. Hey, I remember Debbie. At the said council meeting, the Chief Justice did not disclose the fact that her desire to increase the number of Supreme Court judges had been the subject of a previous discussion and communication with His Excellency. This fact became evident only after a letter dated 7 February 2024 from the Chief Justice to Your Excellency appeared on social media. It follows from these facts that the council had no knowledge of involvement in the attempt to increase the minimum number of justices beyond the constitutional specified number. The petitioner say, even meeting the course, na Judicial Council for nimu po say, time no muti meeting na say kasa asem na Chief Justice Krampo din catch letter come president. Until say letter no Krampo ba abontene. Iti Chief Justice no otutu anoma e na de ko kire Judicial Council for say otutu anoma no wie no say anoma ba nie. Na oyo mo krokro de John. Abraham ka also consult your first no. We didn't get taking the decision wie and sana obe tutu anoma ho achom say oh anoma we bola bed and I say antro here because she had already connive with the president behind the scenes. Because I will check the date of the letters now. Those days clearly say the Chief Justice had already written to the president before even meeting the Judicial Council in June 14, 2024. Meaning on February 2nd now or church and a letter no any the previous one in 2022 no. That means that before we got to June no, not Chief Justice didn't catch a letter come kufuado. And send out to Anuma, catch Judicial Council say, oh, me percent can expanded the judges. Chief Justice had already broken the law. She's already broken the law. We boom ran so that and what Oba make sure say Judicial Council at the end of the day will be part of the law she has broken. Because you see, she needed an accomplice. The Chief Justice knew because I know she knows the law. That is why she's at the Supreme Court. She needed an accomplice to help her in law and also in investigation. Freddie B. Alibi. The Chief Justice needed an alibi. She needed somebody that their words will sync with her word to protect her later when she's caught. So she used the Judicial Council as an alibi. Senebeya same way back. Chief Justice Becker said, oh, I was at the meeting. So I already told them. But the letters and the date on the letters actually exposed the Chief Justice. Said she actually took that decision before meeting the Judicial Council. So she had already committed a crime. But it was an afterthought that, okay, my committed crime anyway. Let me now implicate the Judicial Council. Senebeya, I cannot be sidelined or isolated and punished. So that meeting, she went and basically threw in that suggestion. She had already taken a decision and the evidence is in the letter. Now, page 19. Midjum. So to bro for Chenya. The article 128 clearly states the Chief Justice must go. And this is the petition to the read the Number 20. The Constitution requires the President to act on the advice of the Council in consultation with the Council of State when nominating Supreme Court judges for parliamentary approval. The Chief Justice's elaborate scheme of requesting the President to appoint specific judges and later presenting these names for the Council approval subverts the constitutional scheme and converts both the Council and the President into rubber stamping her preferred judges. As it turned out, the scheme was fortuitously undone by the Council's concern about the timing of the nomination. Now, when the petition is being considered at any stage, members of the Judicial Council will be subpoenaed to testify on the matter. Petitioner say be judges for and I say be judges at Supreme Court. The Constitution requires the President to act on the advice of the Council. I was a president in every Council of State because me person the judges for be adding Echo Supreme Court. Na mo na mo Council of State. Mombra na mo ne member fa ho adwene. Nipa num mo mo saying, mo adwene mo saying, ansa na owia na saa eye de saa eye nominees na Supreme President be or the akọ Parliament. Or the court parliament na parliament for also avert or omo vert we are answer omo approve answer na job to some go Supreme Court. But this is the case whereby the Chief Justice at the end of the day she basically decided to put together a plan that will cut out this process, a plan that will be between just her and the President, because she just wanted the President to say yes and then they'll move the people to the Supreme Court. Abra, the Chief Justice is supposed to follow the due process, because when you take out due process, everything becomes corrupt. That is why due process, normally, when you are doing things and you take out due process, whatever you do, that process becomes corrupt, because the due process will do what? Will refine the journey, will refine whatever you are trying to get. In this opposite, uye go da. So bobo bana or saboba no ode fa process him and sana wakodru baby a friend way gold. You just pick a rock, it's an ore. There's nothing in there about to make us a way to ton. You need to grind bobano or crash bobana. Now the coffee machine, na machine na nyam no mana coffee to powder. Or we are no shanke. O shanke and chasu ya and sana beda nisu. Now was idea good so no say chimu and sana the murder to what the murder to and sana you go in the pay. It is a we ignore that process now. So gold no worth $2 million I to worth 20 Ghana because the due process. When you skip the process, that thing does not become valuable. And that is what the Chief Justice did. She cut out the due process to benefit herself and also the president. In the petition, no air can't talk to us say, oh, Sir Chief, Mr. President, mo pese Ghana for nyina hu nokure wo ma e wo se omo wari Judicial Council no e wo se ye petition o ma na se ye subpoena omo e wo se court show omo no omo ba committee de ni tum say Chief Justice yes sa na se wanye sa. I think the petitioner is trying to also give the Chief Justice some room to basically clear herself. Say Judicial Council for no yes subpoena omo na omo ba court na omo be di trial ye nyina nim say we di trial under a subpoena, you know what will happen. Mr. Petitioner, Mr. President, the Chief Justice said asaba ye keke nyina eboa ye betima subpoena Judicial Council say letter we about the bay meet we omo ye na bay and correspondence lecture saying or say he's open. The Chief Justice Madam Tokonu was say oba na obechechire nsemu. Point 21. Oh, see, Obita Kevin does Galamsey because of the way he's breaking it down. Say if you me Fribois be a Galamsey boy. Point 21 said the Chief Justice's request for the appointment of the aforementioned judges to the Supreme Court was done in brazen violation of the constitutional rules for the appointment of justices of the Supreme Court, amounted to abuse of her office, and was done without fair and or reasonable criteria. Into a say 21, the Chief Justice I in some Makachiri Chess, Chief Justice was abusing the office. Adio need the whole woody bonnet into a no chesse or see a pamana and a unit to Akumia. Point 22, the Chief Justice request for the appointment of the point 23. Petitioner Trobibu point 23 or say the Chief Justice, as the head of the judiciary, must understand that she has no direct role in recommending individuals for appointment or promotion to the Supreme Court. If the Chief Justice makes recommendations for the promotion or appointment to the Supreme Court, it strongly indicates either a shocking lack of understanding or utter disregard for the constitutional process and established promotion procedures. Further, the Chief Justice ought to know that she cannot have a side deal with the President to raise the minimum number of judicial or justices to the Supreme Court, sidestepping the minimum that is specified by the Constitution. Petitioner, Mr. President, the Chief Justice, no, say, or take a decision. Now, no one can recommend nipa. Now the Bravo President said, Mr. President, Masanko for Embra Supreme Court. Etiam Rado Kondo. In fact, sir, Emrana Chief Justice FR so I recommend it. Nipa Edia Bro, sa obe promote omo, sa obe di ombeba Supreme Court, sa obe momu di endibrebiano, Ghana Mrano chre, especially say Chief Justice, any president kasa say, or percent or expanding the number of judges omote Supreme Court bench in this one. Abra when you use due process. Now it means to say the Chief Justice herself, no, need daho and we bugana mraso because it's stated in the Constitution. Say you cannot do that. Article 128(1) clearly states it. Say you cannot by yourself behind the scenes with the president promote or nominate people without using due process. Into petition and say, "Sign your which says a Chief Justice not to mra we boom mraso." Say Ghana your maya your best mra juma or some Madam Tokonu your pamono. Now ukwa your friend B arbitrary reconstitution of panels and transfer of judges. Because you say on my point o jinaso ediaka the Chief Justice and yen to akonya. First one I kind of and your friend request for appointment of 5 justices of the appeals court to the Supreme Court. And who in some wakano reason dia bakono no. Now waba another reason tia also a pam Madam Tokonu and that reason here arbitrary reconstitution of panels and transfer of justices. Or say Chief Justice then to me the judge phobi or nankasa de trim onim raso. Now asesa judge for be egu panel be so watikuo bi na ono ankasa emo mu di dwuma bi o se eno so ka ho nte o se Madam Tokonu ye yi ne to akonwa na mo men kan de wa ase 24. There have been reported incidents of Chief Justice's direct interference with duly constituted panels with no explanation or public interest reasons for so doing. We consider the reconstitution of panels to be beyond the Chief Justice's administrative power and amount to direct interference with the impartiality and independence of duly constituted judicial panels. Almost say, petitioner say, you may be so close to Supreme Court. Chief Justice to be changing judges anyhow. Sebio, or you're the Chief Justice. Now, you're to me the nipa mi ansakotena appeals court case so. I did to be channel pa no asesa without even going through the process. I was here. Chief Justice Adi Bibia Shadensa. Obi to me kotena case so ade achia ye kotena case so endu ahomache for ne a friend say free case so ebi wo kwa 2 minute phone calls e ka chom say case no menko ho o chena obi abesha wanan o say saa nyoma ni nyina kire say Chief Justice no or abuse in the office and the evidence are there. Now, Oko 25, the Chief Justice's constitutional and or legal authority to constitute and reconstitute panels for the hearing of cases must be guided by the constitutional and common law principles which regulate the exercise of such power. And so is the power to transfer judges and other officials of the services. In the Chief Justice, even though ordinary Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Ghana, I was say Odim Rabiso. Say about transfer of judges, and I say the judge phobia assembly so or so free so, and I nipa be so much case judge phobia so or much appeals court case be so. I was say odim raso. Say your Chief Justice then say obetuma tenefi atam phone a Fred judge or phone to say case we free so. No, it does not work like that. It has to go through a process. But Chief Justice no consistently no. Omo will say sa nyoma no onye. Otumi body sirem no agasa simesi free case we so we nkodo obo a odware no pa odum say case won net so ondu court we say o Chief Justice afre say we dey wuntumi tena case no obi mbra and their evidence or the aka the petition no approve say e was Madam Tokonu ya pamono. Now when you go to point 26, the fundamental inability to distinguish between the exercise of her administrative power and interference with the panel's judicial work confirms her incompetence quite apart from the dangers that it poses to the integrity and independence of the judiciary. Inability to understand or perform the duties of an office inadequately constitutes incompetence. Inti osi adikudientia okache president to say the two things are original say and from Chief Justice are about incompetence and say so but I had the lapses in her work. How she's not able to make sure say due process is followed, and also how to make sure say administratively conducting the judicial affairs in our courts, the inconsistencies and the unprofessional attitude of her, it amount to incompetence, ama workflow, any judicial service, into when say Chief Justice Madam Tokonu is incompetent. Sebio oni sa nyansa ho kana obetumi edi Ghana Supreme Court enim edi make sure say Supreme Court any court ehihye na se nyina no omo die dwuma amana die esi 13 into ogina sade o chaka Mr. President say upon nyoma we state no sa nyoma we nyina chere Chief Justice Madam Tokonu oye incompetent dwuma dia odi no wabe selfish wabe arrogant wabe somebody who has become an autocrat in a democratic dispensation. And the petitioner said, no, Mr. President, Sama mi way petition way chese o say pamono. E o say yi ne to akonwa. Point 28. The Constitution. Now point 27. It is my contention that reconstitution of judicial panel is the ultimate way to interfere with or control the impartiality and independence of a panel's judicial work, guaranteed by Article 1272 and 1913 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992 Constitution. Petitioner said, Mr. President, only the Ghana branch and PFA say Chief Justice started in Sakaka judge for. Any judge form to the cases so reshuffle mo move mo without going through due process. The say it might be a friend of crow ana crojin ana fair trial. Send ye dear some soko pepe so na obiade na koma pako fie no. Or say the moment I obenya Chief Justice or than the judges or turn them ekasa we nkwa ha no ema asema sebe we hu ni say e wo say ye no kure na ntumi nya no kure if we say ade be chim ya kwedi asem asem na yenim say judge we na atena asem we so 6 years and 6 months and 2 years na ade be chim ye be court na ade chien na judgment beba na ye ka say assistant judge we ye the judge we abeto so na it means say judge foforo na ye de ba no na ye bia ya man agenda bi say ombeye because the judge na otena case ni so for all these years or months no so no na etie case ni na ade na sa judge no entumi enye den incomplete case no. A typical example is the UNIDEK case opuni a case no. At a point, they delay the case to make sure say UNIDEK will get to a retirement. Send a beya move to me another judge who will be dancing to the song of the Jubilee House. And there are so many cases Asia at a point Edru say a judgment tibeduno near you judge nefuo. Ubusa the Chief Justice she does not give any reason because there are some people who think say they can run the Ghana judiciary the way they want. But Petition says society is here. Emma pepe yo. Any impartiality, any say the idea some crojeno and maso if you say a basada na in semina wo court na I say nipebi and a sebio omo edinu amana eden akwa omo side. No when is the Chief Justice attitude sanyo wan na edeba and into na ojina say yempam Madam Tokonu. It's basically abuse of power. Now point 28. The Constitution is clear that no person, including the President, Parliament and the Chief Justice shall interfere with judges or judicial officers or other persons exercising judicial power in the exercise of their judicial functions. That is in Article 1272. Thus, the reconstitution under the guise of exercising administrative power is a glaring abuse of her office and a fundamental misunderstanding of the boundaries of the Chief Justice's administrative authority. The abuse of her administrative power to interfere with panels' judicial functions meets the threshold of stated misbehavior. Inti enena obon the tough say the Chief Justice say ya ordering in psychic judges we kwa ha ade be chine be ma final judgment to free we measure ho or say sad no at the end of the day what it does is say so kokan Ghana articles no and as a constitution article 1272 no clearly say judge be ana Chief Justice sana what she's basically doing in the say she is not exercising her duties well. What she will use an argument to say what she's doing in the say yeah the juma, but in the process of doing that she's abusing her office. It say a thin line between magic and miracle. So when you're very clever, you will not understand magic and miracle. Magic for a short period. Miracle is everlasting. But Obia Waji say magic is miracle. That is why Obetumi our abusing office no but Obeka says she's exercising her duties. But in the process, when you look at the detailing, you could see, say, she is abusing the office and what we call justice. She is not helping justice to be meted on the people. What she's doing is she's interfering in the people who are supposed to sit on cases, know the merit of the case, and pronounce legitimate judgment. She is interfering in those judgments, taking away justice from the people. The petitioner is saying, say, article in the Ghana's constitution, say Chief Justice be or boom ranoso or near the constitution or tietia, she's abusing her office. Basically, that's what the petitioner is saying. Now, the petitioner Emma instances a man kasa asem and o state the opuni trial and I mekan me pona menye hu Mr. Asare ekache Mr. Kufuor say examples of what Chief Justice Aya actually say or interfere in reconstitution and the panels on cases or see that's one of the specific examples opuni case or say the ongoing case involving Mr. Opuni, the Republic versus Stephen Kwabena Opuni, Seydou Agongo Agricult Ghana Limited, is a glaring example of the Chief Justice's abusing his administrative powers to reconstitute a duly constituted Supreme Court panel that is seized of matter on the judicial side. In this case, Justice UNIDEK, who presided over the matter at the trial level, proceeded on retirement. Now, the trial was reassigned to Justice Kwesi Anochijima, who at that time presided over a division of the High Court in Accra before which the case was placed. The court presided over by Anochijima ruled on April 4, 2023 that the trial should start afresh. That is de novo, considering the need to observe witness demeanor and the fairness concern raised by the defense. This has also been the practice in criminal trials, in contrast to civil trials where the parties had been optioned to adopt the proceedings or start the trial de novo. This common law positions is reiterated in the Republic versus versus High Court, that is Criminal Division, ex parte 7, Kobana Opuni number, and he put in the motions and all that. Judgment delivered on 24 January 2023. Or see a typical example, a Opuni case, no. Petition answer, Mr. President. Ubejedi say Opuni case, no. Justice Unuga, omu delay case na mani bedru ne retirement date. Justice Unuga call retirement, no, and a Chief Justice catch the judge for your friend, no. Eye kwesi ano chijima se onko tena case no so. Sa judge no betina case no so and a Chief Judge catch a judge and say on restart the case no from the beginning, from de novo. Meaning, their witnesses in betina for over 5 years. Justice no study body language, study contradictions, study the inconsistencies in the defense and the criminal the prosecutor, whether their witnesses and all that, you know. Timer Justice Unuga echo retirement and Chief Justice Kotonu ekache Justice Jima se ko. Now got na case this one start the case from afresh. Remember, time na Justice Unuga ewo case this no na edru baby a ewo so den omuma opuni bi ni defense na opuni den ekache Ghana for say this is his case. But side new judge ne ba no case dabi because remember sa case no and attorney general no witness na oye dwuma okoko board page no ho court otwa atro Justice Unuga ka kire sa witness na wa page no ho say yes, I know say you have committed a crime. Remember, so court na say was jinsie na say o ka asema insie na wudi no kire say eni say wotwa atro in the oponi case no attorney general no witness baako edi tro o case nim ema oponi lawyers no ehu atro no ema judge gitum say atro and so Unuga ka say or the attorney to or sanko punishing nipa no either so be jailing no or say that be or train na owie case ni nyina wa be hese obe jailing na. That is against the law. The judge was supposed to take action because the person had sworn not to lie. So in the middle of the case or proceedings, you better say what katro e was said na the law says say I was a judge to take immediate action. But Unuga anye. Until after all these things, you know, Unuga say or call retirement, or say papa we buy no, and cause papa we tina case no so and sa witness from the attorney general no, na cause say jail no, and so papa na Chief Justice Toko no den buy no say oh yensan cause start case no, meaning the crime that the attorney general's witness committed during the trial no, that crime will be quashed away. Next means say bonina odi no yabog bonina tugu, and no ni sa nyoma na the petition e ka che kufuado say. Sa nyoma wei ene kire Madam Tokonu ejuma all ya ode nsa keka judge for move things around no nim behavior no it countermount to incompetence, and also she is basically running the Supreme Court or the judicial services like her own property. Now uko another pointer o make here reconstitution of panel for the hearing of Dr. Opuni's appeal. Also, Opuni case no, a drew point to be no, omuye appeal. Emaniko Supreme Court mokai. That was the time now. Attorney General Godfrey Damemo almost started say omuye almost commission no. Now I say these are some of the reasons until I was a Chief Justice Madam Tokonu ye pamono. Now which one is this? All right. Dr. Opuni's legal team, led by lawyer Samuel Kujo, filed an interlocutory appeal at the Supreme Court on July 7, 2023, arguing that the Court of Appeal erred in its judgment. Several months after the appeal was filed, parties appeared before Supreme Court on January 17, 2024 for a hearing. The court, presided over by Justice Mariama Owusu, along with Justice Yaudakwa Sari, Emmanuel Yonikulendi, George Kingsley Kumsin, and Henry A. Kofi, ordered the parties to file written submissions. Now, on May 8th, 2024, the Chief Justice controversially reconstituted the panel hearing Dr. Opuni's appeal, presiding over the new panel, which included Justice Mariama Owusu, Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Yauda Kwansare, and Ernest Gau, only 2 of the original 5 justices remained. Lawyer Samuel Kujo objected to the new panel, citing Article 1573 of the Constitution, which stipulates that a judge or panel cannot withdraw from a case after hearing argument until judgment is delivered. Or see, the reason why Chief Justice could say a permanent and say, open the case, yeah. There was an appeal. Judges are now also appeals so ometie and komubabetie appeal of opuni case, you know. All what happened was at the other time got case this no not Chief Justice Madam Tokonu e de onu ankasa to me e judge bi se free so we yi ba mien se free so anamienu e na ode onu ankasa no judge fo abehiem judge ode on beka on ba ko ye MPP ni judge e de ko Supreme Court e be hu se na MPP card bearer member gawu into see sanyoma we Madam Tokonu ye ne clearly say she has become a political judge. She is basically abusing her office by sitting behind what we call administrative and duties. But you can see clearly, say, she is infiltrating. She is touching the process. She is basically abusing her office by bringing in judges. She thinks that when there's an appeal case, you know, I was said, judges in the now, some of the judges are not with cases, so they complain, they say, Embrani clearly say, Chief Justice, you cannot take us off the case. Appeal, no, because you can only do that after we have had the appeal and make judgment. But before that was about to happen, no, Chief Justice Madam Tokonu Kachom so move free case, no, so and overnight, no, on one of the judges me and Sabeshemu and no kahu and clearly said the Chief Justice. Embrano clearly states say Article 153 say the Chief Justice Constitution say so yes sir. Why abuse Embrano? Why they I was saying you to akunya if you say unya nipa ubumra. It's a petition and say when na original so aka check for say mami we also pamono because the Constitution states it clearly and the facts are there for everyone to see. So at this point petitioner like Mr. President Papa mami we she is not supposed to be the Chief Justice from tomorrow. Now, when you go further, there is another case or cite or catch the or the petition, the Ablakwa case. Or see, the Chief Justice SI misconducting or the Ablakwa case. Then see a then a toko new year, a then Emma a petitioner, Mr. Asari, a general so Madam Tokonu is not fit, and that the Kufuado should fire him. Sorry, fire her. The Ablakwa case, sorry. The Ablakwa case. On the 25th June 2024, lawyers for the Honorable Member of Parliament for North Tongu objected to a reconstituted panel of the Court of Appeal. They contended that, to the best of their knowledge, the panel to which the case was assigned are Senior Jamefe, presiding judge, Ifya Sewa Saribotri, and Acha JJA. They, however, observed that the panel had been reconstituted by the substitution. They, however, observed that the panel had been reconstituted by the substitution of Jamefe and Acha JJA for Pamela Cranting presiding and Kweku Akabwa for JS, leaving Asaribotri as the only justice of the original panel. The reconstitution panel dismissed the objection, holding that there was no evidence to suggest bias as the basis for the reconstitution. A Ablakwa case, no, at a point, Judge Fuano Motiso, na Omutie case, no. Adia chawo got na case no. Nipa na omuka case omu ya be for no. Chief Justice Madam Tokonu de onu ani to me eyi omu free case so e another set of judges ebe ka case no omu muntie case no omu nim where the case started from. Chief Justice Madam Tokonu Ablakwa case no, she committed the same crime. So it is looking like it is a behavior of the Chief Justice. She does what she wants and basically she gets away with murder. She gets away with murder every time because at the end of the day, onim say so commit a crime no cry. Nobody is going to sack her because she, from the beginning of this petition, you could see her collaboration, her behind the scenes secret letters with the president. So she's basically like an autocrat leading our Supreme Court. Now, subsequently, however, evidence emerged that Justice Jamefe was initially empaneled to preside over the matter, but was written to return the docket to Chief Justice Senior Jamefe. Subsequently, however, evidence emerged that Justice Jamefe was initially empaneled to preside over the matter, but was written to return the docket to the Chief Justice. Justice Senior Jamefe will be subpoenaed to testify in the matter. Inti omu will say, or catch Ekufuor, Mr. President, as same way, Justice Jamefe is there. Say committee no, who putting it together, he can be subpoenaed to come and answer, said the American and me because a year Justice Senior Jamefe no, what happened and then they say, a year later no, omu nyina be who say, the role no, Chief Justice Giffrey in same, and another judge. Chief Justice every constitutee the panel no Emma at the end of the day no credible that who say Chief Justice did that by her own will. Inti subpoena the petitioner ne kache Kufuor say committee no putting it together from no mun subpoena Justice Jamefe no make say dia me came me boa na say me boa o tu evidence or facts or nipa also moba ebe kire say the okani nyina no no kre e say Chief Justice no ya pamono. Now also state another case which is Republic versus Elisha Mahama and two others. Sorry, Elisha Mahama and two others. Into now we state cases are e kire say the Chief Justice no at the end of the day, no, or day, or boomraso, or reconstitute panels, or the Nensaka judges, or positions, or between cases where case Ribabe ready, no, you know, the non-conformation, or say, Ninano, constitution is stating it clearly. Wakache, Mr. President, so what committee now, Jabefania, the Umbet opinion, Mumbra, said the Okano, ACA, and I say ANC. Okay, so, or said another point by or just say, when the engineer so pump Chief Justice. Or say usurping the functions of the rule of court committee. Now, dear now watch your point 47. 7 out of 19. Mr. P, Mr. S. All right. Now, in April this year, 2024, the Chief Justice issued about 10 practice directions to regulate some aspect of practice and procedure of certain courts in Ghana. This function is by Article 157 of the Constitution reserved exclusively to the rule of the court committee. Almost say April this year, Chief Justice issue some practice direction. Sebio or the call out to say courts na Ghana no regulating some aspect and practice and procedures of some of the courts. Now Article 157 of Constitution it say Chief Justice no. It is the job of the court committee. Into then a Chief Justice court committee's job no. What just say Jumana solely or take a decision no. A sad decision and a 10 practice directive no and our directions no. It is not the job of the Chief Justice. The job of the court committee. And when you read the Constitution, Article 157 no, STT clearly say the Chief Justice is not supposed to do that. A court committee no also here. Into then a Chief Justice here or say and also kaho and also Chief Justice way ya pamono. Now, say, in the exercise of such functions by the rule of court committee, the said committee is required to make the rules by constitutional instrument, but not by any other instrument. Into say, sir, Emrana Chief Justice say, Sebio court ewa Ghana this near the adeno. I was say I dear for the court committee no more normal crampono. I was say omudi a constitutional instrument so I was say omudi emraso and any other emra. Into Chief Justice no at the emra for and a Sebio or the masa 10 directions no. But practice directions no. But anka I was say court committee na ye omo crampono emra da ho krojia. I was say omudiso edidi sa adwuma no into who say Chief Justice I decide Madam Tokonu or the Supreme Court and na breaking law anytime any day she did not care anything that okache Mr. Kufuor a president say Miami way sack her before the 7th of January. Now ukaiku anima the practice direction issued by the Chief Justice to regulate practice and procedures in certain matters in some of the courts were neither issued by the rule of the court committee nor by constitutional instrument as prescribed by the Constitution. In issuing the said directions, the Chief Justice usurped a function constitutionally reserved to the rules of court committee. It is technically or basically the Chief Justice abused her office, the Chief Justice went against the law. Article 157. That alone, no, also Chief Justice Yapamono. Chief Justice has committed a lot of crimes. And the good thing about the petition is that the petitioner pointed to the crimes she has committed. And that is the most interesting thing about this petition. The petitioner was detailed. The petitioner directed the president to facts. And the petitioner told the president, if you even need people to be subpoenaed in front of the committee to back what I am saying now, they are all alive. You have the right to subpoena them. Put everything on camera for people to see that the Chief Justice has committed a crime and she does not deserve to be the Chief Justice of Ghana. So when you read the petitioner's petition, you could see, say, he was very clear, he was very detailed, he was very direct. He made the president understand and say, this is not out of hatred, this is out of patriotism, out of correcting the judicial malpractices the Chief Justice is involved in. Into Omar Chief Justice, President Tia say, when your time a Chief Justice Nebuso. Now, when you get to point 49. I say it is important to add that the Chief Justice issued a direction at a ceremony to which several persons were invited and state resources expended to launch them. In so doing, the Chief Justice willfully caused financial loss to the state, as the said direction have no force of law. The disregard of the constitutions clearly laid out process for issuing practice directions fits into the pattern of the Chief Justice's utter contempt for due process, rule of law, and the constitution that she is enjoined to protect, preserve, and defend. Now, another point Ujina so say Yampam Chief Justice na ebine making of administrative guidelines unconstitutionally. Now, you read the no here. Already petition na udu point 51 or say by Article 159 of the Constitution, the Chief Justice is empowered to make regulations for the efficient performance of the functions of the Judicial Services and Judicial Council. The constitutional provision, however, says that such regulations must be made by the Chief Justice, A, acting in accordance with the advice of the Judicial Council, and with the approval of the President, and by constitutional instrument. Now, further, by Article 157, the Rules of Court Committee is empowered to make rules and regulations for regulating the practices and procedures of all courts in Ghana by constitutional instrument. In May 2024, when the Chief Justice launched her practice directions, they were launched with administrative guidance. These directions were made contrary to the constitutional provisions which regulate the making of such guidelines. Those practices, directives that were related to the practice and procedures of the courts were not only to be made by constitutional instrument, but only by the Rule of Courts Committee. The failure to use a constitutional instrument shows a disdain for collaborative rulemaking and preference for running a one-person show. So too is the usurpation of the functions of the Rules of Court Committee. The Constitution and our history clearly frowns upon a judiciary that depends on the solitary decision of one person. Inti petitioner no, I'm a president at TSC. Even the court committee no, sa omo krampo no, the Rule of Court Committee no, sa group no, answer me take sa decision say Ghana court nyina ebia say ye pese take a decision with Ghana. Say Ghana court bia no also almost sitting at 9 a.m. and at the end of the case bia also case bia end 2 p.m. The Chief Justice does not have the right to just go to a function and give that direction. No. The Chief Justice has to consult the President. The Chief Justice has to consult the Parliament. The Chief Justice has to make sure, say, and yet or no take that sole decision. There is something we call the courts, the court committee. The court committee in the Krampono, they also have to work within some laws. They need a constitutional instrument to guide them to make those decisions. It's for the Chief Justice to solely make that decision and stand in public without consulting and making sure due process is followed. And just standing in public to say, I am giving this directive. The Chief Justice has flouted the law. it goes against Article 157. The Chief Justice knows the law, and the Chief Justice has deliberately broken the law, and that it means that the Chief Justice does not have to continue as the Chief Justice of Ghana. It was a precedent in the Pamono. It is looking like our Chief Justice breaks the law every 24 hours. From all that I've read, it's pointing to a Chief Justice who does not have respect for the rule of law. That is what I'm seeing. The Chief Justice does not have respect for the rule of law because the person who appointed her does not have respect for the rule of law. The President Ekufuado, Omumrano. That is why Chief Justice Madam Tokonu, per what the petitioner is saying and the evidence he's given, she is also following suit. She is not respecting the rule of law. And Intina Oka said, we have to make sure, sir, Mr. President, from what has been stated here, it was not just mere say. It was not just allegations. These are facts. Letters, meetings, dates. It was this side which said, Mr. President, also Pamo Madam Tokonu. Now, Mamenko eye of Freddie grounds for removal of the Chief Justice, Article 146. Petition, Mr. President, in Jinaswa way, and a me Jinaswa catcher or say Chief Justice boom so yam pamono, or say grounds for removal of the Chief Justice. Now, before we continue with the grounds of removal of the Chief Justice, we will take a short break. After that, na yatwaso ayedeng I can kind sa diekosi.
We've always sung the first stanza of our national anthem, which asks for God's blessing on our homeland, Ghana. And it enjoins us to resist oppressors' rule. Many have not taken the time to observe the second stanza of our national anthem, and the lyrics bear reflection. It says, "Hail to thy name, O Ghana. To thee we make our solemn vow, steadfast to build together a nation strong in unity. With our gifts of mind and strength of arm, whether night or day, in mist or storm, in every need, whatever the call may be, to serve thee, Ghana, now and forevermore." This stanza calls for a nation strong in unity and enjoins us with our gift of mind and strength of arm to serve our motherland, Ghana, now and forevermore.
It's exactly 6:03 p.m. U.S. East Coast time. It's definitely 11:03 p.m. in Ghana. You're still watching With All Due Respect extended version. My name is Kevin Akobedu Taylor. We are breaking down the petition. We are reading through the petition. We want Ghanaians to understand. The Chief Justice Webum Raso. And that is what we are doing here. Page by page. Na ya mo ate ase de ekoso. Adekudientia I was said Chief Justice Madam Tokonu. I was said Nana Danko Ekufuado epamonom. Team, are we good? Really? Team. Semo. Let me see something here. We will deal with that. Mr. P. And see grounds for removal of the Chief Justice, Article 146. Now let's go to what the petitioner has written. The Constitution, or say Article 146(1) of the 1992 Constitution provides that a justice of the Superior Court or a chairman of a regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except for, or say, Article 146(1) actually our Constitution will say, Chief Justice, and say a permanent echire bibi say esi. Na nyomana echire esi no enena petitioner no e ka chire Ekufuado or say 1. Stated misbehavior or incompetence or on grounds of inability to perform the functions of his office arising from affirmity of body or mind. Now, Momiankai 62. 62. As already stated, your petitioner's instant petition is grounded on the first two, which are stated misbehavior and incompetence. The two words are not defined by the Constitution. In discerning their meanings, however, recourse will be had to their literal, ordinary, and grammatical meanings. The reason for the recourse to the literal meaning of the words used in the Constitution is that the courts have repeatedly held that regard be paid first to the literal rule of the words used in a statute, unless recourse to such meaning lead to absurdity. Now, the petitioner or say, nyoma ojina so a okasa na nado dan kweku fuado e wose opam madam tokonu no sebio sa words na o use no obi beka say oh sa words a o use ye no constitution enim inti adenti na words a any constitution mu no yenjina so na yemfa pam madam tokonu o say sebio enche so bi kan che say o ma me control anse na wo so odi ma me atem obi betuma ka so ma me control ni nyina it still goes down say we did ma me atem. Now or see, even though we use the exact words in the Constitution, no, this word, no, literally, no, you cannot just take it and say, because he did not basically go into the Constitution to pick exact words to say, Mr. President, Article 64, these words and these words are the ones I am basing my reasons on for you to sack the woman. No, does not mean, say, he does not have a case in making sure that this woman has been fired. He is saying, say, even though, no, in semina ojina so eka these are the grounds I am from madam tokonu no enye nsema particular words no unu wo constitution no does not mean say it does not reflect or it does not represent the constitution and the part of the constitution he has quoted to support the words. Et say o kind bible udru baby a friend proverbs so o kind proverbs are say okay proverbs ni keke say mebusam anase proverbs na you need to understand it in a certain way to understand what proverbs the wom and no na petition ka che Mr. Kufuor say those grounds na me gina so aka say pam madam tokonu no even though words like misbehavior and incompetence might not be found in the Constitution, no, it does not mean say when you basically sit down to look at her duties and the kind of inconsistencies and misbehavior incompetence she has exhibited during her time or during her execution of her duties, no, it does not take away say the woman has committed a crime. Inti the word itself as misbehavior or incompetence, no, it does not mean say because it's not the Constitution, but I'm talking did not commit a crime. And no na oma nanado dan kweku fuado etias say. Sa words now we use to say stated misbehavior and now say incompetence no mema Nigerian say any constitution immunity madam tokonu embo krono no he's basically making the president understand. Now or see or person or share the meaning of stated misbehavior. Now or see the definition of misbehavior has evolved over time, but it typically includes into Mr. President to say Sebio Obika Sauna ni controma the same person as some catcher to say or did you mamiatem into we're using it in different language, but it all goes down to Eddie Omame baby. Or say the word Eddie misbehavior, abuse of office. The word misbehavior, it can also mean abuse of office. It's using administrative powers in a manner which brings the administration of justice into disrepute. Incompetence, demonstrating a lack of ability or capacity to perform judicial duties in accordance with the standards required and or expected of the office. 3, unreasonableness, or say behaving in a manner that undermines public confidence in the judiciary, such as making decisions that are irrational, arbitrary, or engaging in inappropriate relationships. 4, corruption, engaging in bribery or other forms of corruption. Moral turpitude. Moral turpitude is engaging in a conduct that is morally unacceptable, such as fraud or dishonesty. Now, Oma President Atias say, even though he did not use the exact words in the Constitution or the part of the Constitution he quoted, the words he used, they have evolved. They also have the same meanings as what the Constitution has been stating. Nobody should hide behind grammatical errors or using words just to say because he did not use this specific word, Maamene born now with it at the end of the day we cannot punish her by sacking her, and that he's making people understand say words they evolve. You can say words evolve here. And as time goes on, they start to form different meanings. They start to magnet. As they move, they start to attract and they start to change. Their meaning starts to change. And so you cannot be static or be rigid and say, because when you see some specific words in the Constitution, Madam Tokonu has not committed or flouted the laws of the Constitution or the land. It is very, very important. And until when you abutra or you in some any brofo or usually any word to much Mr. President say, it all means the same thing. The woman at the end of the day has not conducted herself well. She has misbehaved, and also she's incompetent to fill that office. Now, oko explanation of grounds of the petition. Oche misbehavior explanation, brazen constitutional violation. And oko down page 16. Page 16, disrepute. So what the petitioner did, and they say, the crimes the woman has committed, and he said, Obibe General Kacho said, because me, the petitioner, I did not use some kind of words or some kind of grammar in the Constitution. It does not clearly state to say the woman has committed a crime. And in petitioner, every single statement you make, he backed it with the Constitution, and where it clearly shows to say the woman, Madam Tokonu, has committed a crime. And it's or make a statement to be no appoint here to the Constitution. No, the catcher says statement way when you link it to the behavior of the woman at this instance, it clearly goes against the Constitution. Inti Usha petitioner. That's what I'm saying. Say Papa no Choko petition, he took his time to detail it, because when you want to let the world know, say the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana is not doing the right thing, you cannot just write a piece of paper and say sack her. You need to state, you need to be factual, you need to point to what crime she has committed and what crime she has committed against the state. And the petitioner from page 1, he has been able to link every behavior of this woman, which is contrary to what the Constitution states, to let us know, say, the woman has committed a crime. So it is not about grammar. It is not about you using exact words in the Constitution. It is about you pointing out the flaws and the abuse of office by using the Constitution and parts of the Constitution to back your statement. And clearly you can see, say, the petitioner, Mr. Asare, he backed every the allegation he made with facts to prove to the president to say they are not just mere allegations. These are allegations based on facts, and the facts can be pointed out through letters and also through the Constitution, what it says. Now, sir, Uridia Kodru the part where he wants to conclude that the petitioner, in his conclusion, Mr. President, this is what he said. The Chief Justice's actions discussed herein not only breach constitutional provisions, but also constitute stated misbehavior and confirm acts of incompetence. These actions undermine judicial independence and impartiality, represent an abuse of power, and create a conflict of interest. Such actions meet the threshold of stated misbehavior and incompetence as outlined in Article 1461, and therefore constitutes grounds for removal. Also, Mr. President, in some evidence I made any the part of the Constitution me quote their support me grounds why the Chief Justice should be sacked. You need to understand say it clearly shows that the Chief Justice has misconducted herself, she has misbehaved herself, and she has shown gross incompetence in administering her job. So the petitioner is telling the president, say, when you even take your time to look at the Article 1461, it clearly states, say, he has grounds to tell the president and Ghanaians as a whole, say, the Chief Justice basically has flouted the law. She has gone against the constitution, and it is on the ground to say she has to be removed. Wachere nyoma a chere se Chief Justice no e wose pam no and wan chere ne keke otusie e no chere oyede o chere otu de otu bayira no wa chere sie otu bayira no wa chere sie otu bayira o baby no chere sie nti from what he has stated no catch Mr. President say in his conclusion no the match nyina chere se Chief Justice no we bu mraso or incompetent or say misbehaving ho, and it calls for her sack as the Chief Justice of Ghana. Now, call a page point 113. Or say the Chief Justice's role is to interpret and uphold the law, not to influence the selection process of other justices of the Supreme Court or to interfere in the operations of duly constituted panels. Or say Chief Justice Nejuma say obechche Ghana mrem. Nejuma no I was say or make sure say wa church Ghana mrem na Ghana mrano wa bon ho ban. Se Chief Justice ye na adwene say ordinance e be keka judges edwuma omo ye. So ye na adwene say omma eye judges any judicial services no omunya adwene krogin emfa manage eye Ghana se be judiciary na say Chief Justice no or abusing the office and answer or day or call against the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Or could anyone say or could anyone say I'm trying to find where yes. Her involvement in the appointment process could unduly influence the president's decision, undermining the objectivity of the nomination process. Or see the Chief Justice here, no, it can influence the decision of the president because Chief Justice Charles Takoma president. No, guys, Mr. President, me na me the head of the judiciary. Me na me Chief Justice. Me was shortlisted people. Me was protocol list. Me pesa wodi omoba Chief Supreme Court. A bit may influence the decision of the president. Ebia na inkofona Chief Justice. The Emma President as protocol list. No 5 judges. No, for all you know, Ebia some of them are criminals. Ebia, the Chief Justice is planning on conniving with some of them on personal basis or personal reasons to dupe the people of Ghana or to abuse their office. Until see, for the Chief Justice to even just suggest those things to the president, clearly can confuse the president or can influence the decision of the president, meaning the Chief Justice, who is supposed to be the protector of the law and interpreter of the law, has now become the influencer of the law, has become the suppressor of the law. And into the original side, and so like I said, we don't need such people or such persons to be the head of Ghana's judiciary. How could anyone say? Here her overreach is contemptuous of the power of the Judicial Council, which she chairs. Her involvement in the appointment process could unduly influence the president's decision, undermining the objectivity of the nomination process. Her attempt to make side deals with the president puts her in a position where the president can make reciprocal demands. Or say, per the Chief Justice or throw letter. 2 letters behind the scenes without the Judicial Council knowing and conniving with the president and telling the president to do her a favor by bringing in a list she thinks is better for her. No, also the dangerous woman they say a day will come the president will also ask the Chief Justice for a favor, and that will at the end of the day undermine the justice system in this country. It means said. So President, yes, I favor with my Chief Justice. A day will come where the president's daughter will be starting trial. The president will pick a phone and call the Chief Justice and say, let it go. Abraham said the president's daughter has committed a crime through an ambulance deal of about $32 million. The Chief Justice will make sure the judge who sits on the panel or sits on the case will tell Ghanaians and say, Jan Kuruma is not guilty. Into see, these are the reasons why it is very dangerous for the Chief Justice to be suggesting to the president and having secret meetings with the president, and then their own personal vendetta or personal reasons, to be imposed on the judiciary or on the court. Into say, very dangerous. When it becomes a barter trade between the president and the Chief Justice, then it means to say we don't have a judicial system, we don't have a justice system, and these are the reasons why Oka said the Chief Justice must be sacked. Now, Oko Enima or say She is therefore fatally compromised. The Constitution and established protocols dictate the process for judicial nomination, and any deviation from these procedure is unlawful. Similarly, her reconstitution of panels impairs parties' right to a fair trial and could unduly influence the panel's decision, undermining the impartiality of the adjudication process. It strikes at the core of Article 1573, which is intended to prevent any interruptions in the judicial process and ensure continuity and accountability until a final decision is made. Her reconstitution of panels is an abuse of power in violation of the constitutional benchmark for the exercise of discretion power. The Chief Justice has no administrative role once a panel is formed and cannot interfere with the judicial functions of a panel by changing members on the panel. Public confidence in the judicial system relies on the perception of fairness and impartiality. The Chief Justice's actions described would further erode this confidence, suggesting favoritism or partiality and introducing needless frictions within the judiciary. Judicial ethics requires judges to avoid actions compromising their independence or judiciary's independence. Proposing nominees could be seen as engaging in political activities, generally discouraged, if not bad for judges. Now, the all can say, Chief Justice, take a decision to interfere. Judge on better cases so. Making sure say as seminar air kwasono obetime yi judge no the judge for abehwe ho obetime ka kire obi say wo de kwahwa ha wo de ochina memo atena we so wo de by force ranchen o see sa dwuma die no enye Chief Justice dwuma. Into the moment that Chief Justice Ben Aju say obey sadie no, then it means say pepe yo and answer your court no and a judiciary no be a friend pepe yo and answer justice no, it will never be realized. If we say Chief Justice cost yes sadie na, then some judges will be ruling in favor of the Chief Justice and maybe accomplices of the Chief Justice. Some of the judgments will be in favor of some people who are not supposed to get a favorable judgment. He is saying say the conduct and actions of the Chief Justice continuously reconstituting and entering panels and contradicting and forcing judges on and off their cases, which isn't her job. No? The Chief Justice is overstepping her boundaries. The Chief Justice is abusing her power. And most importantly, that confidence and belief Ghanaians a judicial system. No? The Chief Justice, through her actions, no, by influencing and infiltrating, and at the end of the day, putting her powers and imposing herself on the judges sitting on cases and reconstituted panels. No? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? And they say, GDN na Ghana for our judicial system. No, sa GDN na be yira so a sebio Ghana for ne ho be kire. Now oba asewa na o say judicial ethics requires judges to avoid actions compromising their independence or the judiciary's independence. Proposing nominees could be seen as engaging in political activities, generally discouraged, if not bad for judges. Professor Jando warned us of the dangers of an unrestrained Chief Justice when he opined that, and I quote, "If we're so unfortunate as to get for our Chief Justice a cynical, mischievous and obstinate individual who always had the ear of the president, at least a sizable section of the judiciary could be subject to mayhem with not too remote consequences of bedlam." End of quote. The mayhem is already upon the judiciary and the bedlam will follow unless swift actions are taken to remove the Chief Justice from office on the grounds prayed and in accordance to Article 146 of the Constitution. That's the 1992 Constitution. And the petitioner says, "I therefore petition the President to initiate proceedings to remove the Chief Justice from office to uphold the Constitution, maintain the integrity of the judiciary, and restore public confidence in our judicial system. Please do not hesitate to contact me for any further information or clarification. Respectfully submitted, Professor Stephen Kweku Asare, P.O. Box 12889, Accra North. Telephone 02635299907. Email kwekuasare@gmail.com. So that is the petition. Petition na and the yadi akome kufuado a ye jina so aka say Madam Tokonu e wo say ye pamono no ene na medwudwo machiro all the evidence emu letters secret meetings, secret letters Chief Justice Trokome Kufuor against the constitution. Any basis the petitioner actually say grounds actually say the misbehavior and also the incompetence, and the Chief Justice at the end of the day infiltrating our judicial system, imposing her will on our judicial system, and also favoring the president and his government on some political cases. The facts are there. He has pointed to the part of the constitution that clearly states the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana has to be sacked. And it is very important that we all understand he still has days. He needs to take action. He needs to constitute a committee. He needs to make sure the process starts. Mema obi mbedane na nonka kase Nanado Dankwa Kufuor nembra so ade oyamba so Mahama ba ye na wabe committee. John Mahama is not president. Kufuor needs to take action. So Nanado Dankwa Kufuor and take action. Na John Mahama beto petition we no take action. Nobody should say a witch hunt. This is something Kufuor needs to do. So believe the Chief Justice is not guilty. She has not abused her office. She is not an autocratic Chief Justice who is incompetent. Nanado Dankwa Kufuor should form a committee and make sure this is heard on camera for us to know, the petitioner is making a case or is not. And if the Chief Justice is clean and squeak, and the Chief Justice has not committed a crime, we all will come back and say she should go back to the Supreme Court and occupy that office. If Nanado Dankwa Kufuor fails to take action on this petition, then it means we the people will have to force the next government to take decision on this petition. And it's very important you and I understand this ABC. I'll be back to continue tonight's show. You're still watching With All Due Respect Television. All right. Thank you very much for staying. So many breaking news. Breaking news, Bibri Abim. Breaking news. Yeah, show no. Breaking news, Bibri. All right. It's exactly 6:30, 11:30 in Ghana. Breaking news right now. Breaking news. All right, so more follow your page, every single day with all due respect page on Facebook, any Loud Silence TV page on Facebook. This afternoon we posted a picture on Facebook. Yakacham said there's a car, there's a van. This van, this 8 hours ago, this morning, we posted a picture of a van. Yakacham said information coming in indicates this van is full of gold, about to be transported to Dubai on Emirates Airline by the Kufuor family. Yeah, they saw a picture we ever to social media this morning, and we made you understand to say this is something that is ongoing. In fact, I made my team go down to check this van number plate, and what they came out with, and they say the van belongs to a PMMC. Now, Yamamu the airline omode sa car we go da egumuno omode Echo Dubai. No, we made you aware. A few. I think an hour later, any update team or Facebook say, oh, car no edru Kotoka International Airport. Our guys are still following this car. That was 6 hours. The first one was 6 hours, 8 hours. So 2 hours later, and Becham said the van carrying the gold is now at the airport. More to follow. So that was the van. Na ekuta carry gold, na nanado danko Kufuor de busian for thousands and thousands of gold. Omanane edigu kamua omode ko airport ediako Dubai. Now, the breaking news coming in said car. The police, they have been able to arrest that car. Now, what is happening? They say, yes, police for no at the car call the Greater Accra Regional Police Office. Now, the breaking news coming in say people went in there, the car was intercepted, and truly, the gold, gold that Ghana for the Duamu be there. The catcher man upon said, the Kufuor government, the Kufuor the Busian for they are still stealing you people. The gold for oil na baumia sa gold way ya china baumia mu nim hu bi. A gold for oil PMMC me catch them say PMMC. Sa akwa no da wona na bodwe se koraba no. Sa da ko o tade ende no. Sa akwa no. They are the ones gold for oil no be buy no. Omo de be wi Ghana goals. Now these are the videos coming in. Momi enhwe the gold no Ghana for achika no.
Imagine the compatibility. These are Ghana money. Ghana money. They spoil our water. Ghana money. Oh, Ghana money. Why this man is the fact that he invests? That he be 72, so 7 dollars. Na police. I think I can get to it. Can't get to what I shall be in the Western now. One, two. Imagine that. Imagine that. Two. You said 72. Two. You said 72. Imagine the compatibility. 4, 5, 6. These are Ghana money. Ghana money, Ghana money. They spoil our water. Ghana money, oh, Ghana money. Why this man is the fact that he invests? That he be 70, so 7 dollars.
So gold bars, no, gold bars. I don't know who is on a gold bars in Guam. And they see the car, no, any gold, no, you call Accra Regional Police Headquarters on boy. Sanko for a boni omudi dimuno. It is not a joke. And as we speak today, that is why they are still planning on killing John Mahama. They still want to kill John Mahama. They are seriously doing it physically and spiritually. They are still bent on killing John Mahama and Nana because they don't want to hand over power to John Mahama. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he knows. They have committed so much crime. They have done a lot. It go for a free power 7 January. Adia mube hu Ghana no. One shall make us John Mahama the president 20 years. Me na me catch them. Me say, Ada Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne nebusuafo be free power no. One shall make us NDC for the Ghana so 30 years. You people will be shocked. Where raw gold. Where raw gold. And it's almost 7 sassy. Chema to me ebu sassy go almost blasty. They don't care because this is what they were looking at. But when you gold for oil, no, this is what they were doing. And Ghana gold nana almost sense us because they had a plan. So gold so that car, they have arrested the car. And you through a video. Say as we speak, you know, Sir Gold, we are following it. I have sources at the police headquarters. The police CID, she's very political, or MPP. The CID boss, or a typical MPP. KK Sapon girlfriend, no, say SK Sapon, the KK Sapon. The girlfriend, no. This one, I am watching her closely. And I have sources at the Ghana police. Nobody can change this gold and come tell us, say, your gold. And then no. People, I was saying, go for jail. I was saying, I didn't go for tomb for years. And to Ghana for, this is the time we all need to come together. Krono and Kofo we abono. Krono and Kofo we abo ewa Ghana no. It is not a joke. They see you people somewhere Jimmy. It is a Obikacho say, Akufo-Addo, gold for oil. I mention from the top, be a free buy. Nipa or stati illegal gold export ewa Ghana. Gold and diamond Kusibuatin. So from friend Kusibuatin, yeah. Kusibuatin a freba will me no catch and gold for oil no or children how it works. Tie. Gold for oil. Bawumia na otewana Kusibuatin because Kusibuatin why gold smuggling, diamond smuggling for years. That is the Jumano no on your software. Go to Zimbabwe and ask. Kusibuatin or concession also in Zimbabwe. A whole of Tony gold in the fa. The diamond in the fa. Kusibuatin a freba will me say our idea be a friend gold for oil. And that gold for oil no will change our life. Ghana will make about 2%, but they are going to make the 98%. It's gold for oil, no idea no dema baumia. And about me catch or the idea be a friend gold for oil. Ebema petrol buako form. Ebema Ghana yeka edini betu metia. You see gold for oil. You see Ghana you need dollars. And you see you betum the gold either out of petrol. You betum the gold out of diesel. You need dollars. It inka on a normal day. See any minyansa you tam gold na hen you to gold in your papa. And yet New York. New York. And the New York Stock Exchange. And the gold bullion and New York na wo. I didn't know yen tam you gold no enfanko New York. Your US embassy in Ghana. Why don't we coordinate with them and say, we don't have enough reserves. We have a lot of gold. We want you people to collaborate with us. We want to sell the gold in the United States to the market. Gold does not depreciate overnight. The US embassy in Ghana could have collaborated with the government and then linked us for us to sell the gold and take dollars from America legitimately to bring the dollars to Ghana to go and buy the diesel and the petrol. And so gold for oil, no? Almost say, ma PMMC to me, iti bawomi amo instructe Addison. Say on tam Ghana sikana edahono. Now on former PMMC. PMMC for no beko into the market to buy gold. PMMC for no millions of dollars no close over billions, no. And now be a small buying platforms. And as a webinar or the PMMC, no. Almost started to talk gold, no. Now, in Kofua no more legitimate small scale mining, any illegal small scale mining, no. Will say there's so much demand for gold. Now, no more legitimate small scale mining, no. What happened? And they say, legitimate mining, no. Now, amount for no more illegal mining, no. And making more money than legitimate mining. Person will buy assassin or buying. Person will protect Ghana assassin. Will say, illegal miners, no chairman, won't too many MPP for no. Almost say assassin, yesika. Gold price is so costly. So some of the legitimate gold miners, and I say, small scale miners are legitimate, no. Almost do jimu. Because one, they have taken a license to do what, to mine legitimately, and now to become legitimate licensed small scale miners. What they were doing is some of the small scale miners, no, jimu, and under the license of small scale mining legitimately, no, they were doing illegal mining, and no, and a balloon, the pollution of our waters. It is almost steady from May 2024. Ebano and I used to start to say more. We could not control it because not chema. They are willing to dig more, destroy more, to give that gold to PMMC to send to Bank of Ghana, to give that gold to a third party. It's near tia and I'm going to go to the Bank of Ghana because the constitution, no, Yambrana say Bank of Ghana ain't to me to gold, but Bank of Ghana bet to Yama PMMC to gold. Into Baumia Addison say. Oma PMMC for sika PMMC for the sika and about be companies and be gold buying companies and almost started to talk gold, you know. Into na gold price, you know, now it was in demand. Into a lot of people went to Galamsey. Into after destroying the waters, no munya a lot of gold. Omunya gold in the year, you know, and I'm say instead say and Saka gold and cause Toma US for New York and now France near dollars, you know. Say that be the raw gold in Emma Dubai, Nibi man, they are called Dubai. And their cost is oil. Tie. I feel what you say. What they wanted to do now gold in the hiomo. It wasn't to save your economy. In terms of gold, and say, oh, the man say, the raw gold in a third party. Alpha Stream. Me and a scandal on the chemo. A third party be a friend Alpha Stream. Alpha Stream. A Lebanese guy be Baomia Munipa. Now what happened is say tam gold, you know, and them Alpha Stream. And I'm say Alpha Stream the gold when I got to oil bra. A brand came to go down America for a ton legitimately at $, because in the first place, the reason why I go for oil buy is $80. America for $80. Almost net to gold. I didn't see the raw gold, Emma Arabia, so Uncle Dubai, and Franco Sad diesel and bra. Your time gold in the Alpha Stream. Alpha Stream coin and a tin share. Or tin share, you know, and a koto oil boka oil. O we no the oil ne breye. And now we no ne PMMC for no anybody we am kwechira mo che infaso no. At the end of the day, no, they have used this country. E kusi boating e sa asofo no or no ene this plan by. You get what I mean? Inti omo ena ekofa sa plan no ena mo de bedi moto. So sa gold no a car system ni mo a lot of gold. It is a moko eye baby a ye mine gold na. Mumbusa mo say na di ni see ente say na amount for because the demand for gold was high. Omo introduce gold for oil no ena demand ne cost ro ena the destruction of our water bodies no e pikie. And everybody was surprised. Na he na said the yenso nyina say no it was because cheba wuntumi mu no because bawomiam no omo plan. The plan was to destroy the waters, destroy the vegetation and get the gold. And that is what you are seeing. It is aka we na gold gumisa no. Right now no osamuti say so to gold or Ghana. Na so de kosa okoton abrocha. Abrofun bebusa say gold no. E kwan be so ne 2 year. child labor issues woman okofa ankwara bi no mu 2 year ofa akuti kwan so na 2 year. There are a lot of questions you need to answer before your gold will be bought in the international market. Now TRCS gold for oil we no all the gold na PMMC koto todo nkurase a omo biebie companies no they were buying gold from illegal miners. Now the issue is the gold no motor and they cannot take it outside because they cannot answer where the gold is coming from. Chairman won't me galam say Sampan ye galam say Kedjefo ye galam say Kojo Ponkroma ye galam say Professor Frimpong Boateng eba the document say Lord Kome Munya ye galam say Kufuor de say ofane kwasi anko. It is our gold and they could not sell it. So what they had to do, and they say, because the gold, they could not sell it internationally. And anything on Tamama, the Alpha Stream say, the raw gold in the because a galam say gold. Alpha Stream so kwa no akoto petro buka, petro fumi no yabre bust. Na ba omiani kusi boatemo omache. And then they bedru hande. It is all raw gold say a ship de akwa a Kufuor ba omiamo dia. A chairman won't to me gold, where a blood gold. Bronibian wabeto. Yeah, this gold, Bronibian wabeto. Majority of Chinese from to gold or Ghana. MPP for no, a guardian of Togo and Burkina Faso, a honor of gold, no, they call. Yeah, they cannot do it here. You know why? Because gold, you know, a blood gold. It's majority of gold dealers are Chinese for Arabians na India for no. They don't sell their gold through a PMMCO. No, they go through a Burkina, they go through a Togo, they go through a Benin. That is where they sell because the gold is blood gold. A gold that won't mean turn on international market and so. A bin and the machina they are counting from bullions, no.
Imagine the comparability. These are Ghana money. Ghana money. They spoil our water. Ghana money. Oh, Ghana money. Why this man is the fact that he invests? But he be 72.
This police officer, his name is DCOP Mr. Ahin Kwesi Ano. Ghana for gold number they call Accra Regional Police Headquarters. The Bako Kura hold this man accountable. Gold now machina na juino. Se ehun tu tokuro. Se obia the false information ba about the gold. Ask this man. Ono na gold nation insa. Almost the gold in the core area the Accra Regional Headquarters. Gold in the Bakumpo Yira. So the any different report ba. I have men at the Accra Regional Police Headquarters. I have men there. This is the man in charge, DCOP, or your friend Akwesi Ano. Say gold in the Bako Yira. The next government should hold this man accountable. So it is your job to keep this gold for us to get to the bottom of this crime. I will come back to this matter. My shadow and I made a picture to because I know what I have heard. I know the conversation I've heard and I know the text messages I've intercepted. Mr. DCOP, you are in charge for now. May I accuse you of anything? Say gold way back. Say amount for your margin say they are going to swap anything. They are going to change anything. And they consider say your retirement will be in your grave. Consider your retirement, say it's going to be in your grave. Because what is happening, we know more than what you think we know. It's media. I am not going to accuse you of anything. I am not going to show anything today. I am just going to send this caution to you. Say, protect the law. You are a police officer, a DCOP. Gold near the about or facility, let it be the same gold. That is all I can say to you. Now, there's breaking news coming in. It's not a pleasant one, but hey, we have to talk about the breaking news. All right, breaking news. MPP Ashanti Regional communicator Bakwa Odi MPP nim Ashanti region, the Ashanti regional chief imam, he's dead. That is the news we are getting in. This is the Ashanti regional imam. Chief communicator ma Ekufuado ne Bawumia. All the sins Bawumia was committing and this government was committing, no, this man did not see anything wrong with it. With me, I'm not in the position to judge any man. Nyankopon Allah enenim ni pebia how he would judge that person. It is not up to me. My job here is to tell you, say the Ashanti regional chief imam, this man we all know as an MPP communicator, is dead. We don't know the cause of his death. We don't know what actually happened, but that is the news coming in. I am a human being. I'll also die. I will be before my creator. Today, we are just putting the news out. He will be before his creator and he will answer a question to his creator. It is not my job. I am not pure enough to judge any man after his death. If he was alive, I could have spoken and said my mind to him. But dead men can't defend themselves. And it's only between him and his God. So we are not supposed to play the role of God. We are supposed to be the servants of God. We cannot be judges. But what we can do is we can announce to the world that this man who played a vital role for the MPP campaign in the Ashanti region, the Ashanti regional chief imam, has died. I'll be back to continue tonight's show. You're still watching With All Respect Extended Version. Gigim. You are still live on Loud Silence TV. My name is Kevin Akoberu Taylor. We are still live on TV. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. All platforms are blazing. Thank you very much for staying. It's looking like, say, a year, the Electoral Commission, no, they are not willing or they are not ready to work for the people. I believe, say, it's about time we Ghanaians, patriotic citizens, for some time now, the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, Boss Mamo, take here for granted. Especially we, the Ghanaians who voted for the NDC government to come to power. And the patriotic Ghanaians who are not affiliated to any political party who decided to make sure this government loses power to give power to the NDC. It is looking like Jane Mensah, Bossman, they don't respect we. And right now, I believe, say, the Electoral Commission, they need to come under pressure to deliver. I believe, say, we need to have a march to the office of the Electoral Commission. We all need to get on the streets peacefully to let the Electoral Commission come out with final results of these elections. It is beginning to look like, say, a deliberate. It is beginning to look like, say, mandate near the moment, they want to abuse it. It is looking like they don't want to respect we, the citizens. Bossman Asare, Jane Mensah, and the rest of the guys at the Electoral Commission, they don't respect we, the people, the decision we took, the pains we went through. Because as I speak, so many people died during these elections, electing John Mahama. So, se nipa enkwa in 2020, nipa 8 ewuye. And in 2024, nipa sewu. Now ya to abewe getting to 2 weeks. Now Electoral Commission person kachere say they don't want to give us the official presidential result. Then we all have to march to the Electoral Commission office because we need a closure. There should be closure to this. The Electoral Commission needs to put a closure on these elections. As we speak today, nobody has contested the presidential elections in all the 40,000 polling stations across the nation. So what is stopping Jane Mensah, any Bossman Asare, and the Ekufuado Electoral Commission from giving us the final presidential results? We don't care about parliamentary. The parliamentary can deal with itself. But as a nation, it looks like the disrespect from Jane Mensah is getting out of hand. It is now beginning to look like, say, it is beginning to look like, say, we as Ghanaians, we need to make sure, say, the Electoral Commission, they basically give us, Mr. S. It looks like the Electoral Commission, led by Jane Mensah, people have died. We are mourning. We want a closure to these elections. All the constituencies, 275 constituencies in this country, Yatuaba, a president. Nobody has contested. John Dramani Mahama uncontested results. No, Mahamudu Bawumia has not contested the presidential results. The NDC, the NPP, nobody has contested the presidential results. So why is it so difficult for the EC, led by Jane Mensah, to also deliver? Because we are just here. We don't know. They are not updating the percentages. They are not updating the final figure. As we sit in Ghana, almost a week. The results are Jane Mensah, the final result. We want to know exactly what John Mahama got, and we want to know exactly what Bawumia got. But this is the situation whereby all the 276 constituencies are Jane Mensah recording. She's not even giving us the respect to even come out to tell us. Then it means that we, the people, have to walk to you. We need to make this a national walk, a national peace walk. We need to walk to the EC to demand for that. Because it is looking like our patriotism and also our humility and our respect for the rule of law and respect for the constitution and the democracy we are enjoying. Majority of Ghanaians have decided to sit back to at least allow you to do your job. But it's becoming like you people are purely disrespecting the people's intelligence. You are taking advantage of that democracy that we want to practice. So I believe, say, it's about time And this goes to the grassroots, that we need to put together a national march to the Electoral Commission's office. Nobody's going to fight anyone. Nobody's going to fight the police. We want the Electoral Commission in less than 24 hours come out with the presidential results. Why don't we have presidential results? The chaos we are seeing around the nation is because the Electoral Commission has refused to update to tell us the final presidential results. Obviously, every election we get people contesting the parliamentary results, which is fine. The parliamentary results are definitely different from the presidential results. So why is the EC almost a week not able to tell us to say, this is what Mahama got and this is what Bawumia got? So the EC wants to tell us to say, without the parliamentary result in their respective constituencies that has not been declared, we cannot know the result of the presidential election, Sana. There's something sketchy going on. The Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, they don't respect us. It's about time we made them understand that we are a peaceful nation. We are not going to allow Jane Mensah sign attitude in Libya to plunge this country into chaos, because there are some people sitting on the line now. They want to take advantage of that to destroy this nation. They want to take advantage of Jane Mensah not bringing out the final result to destroy the democracy we are enjoying in this nation. And we, the people, are not going to allow Jane Mensah to do that. So we are going to peacefully walk to the EC's office in our thousands. We are going to work in our millions. We are going to demand that the Jane Mensah administration, they should come out with the presidential result, the final presidential result, because we need it. It will actually put some level of peace in the system. Ghanaians today, we are living in some tensed atmosphere. We don't even know what is going on. People are taking advantage of the system and telling us to say, Jane Mensah move our results by so they can misbehave. Today, people are burning schools because ballot boxes are in schools. We all know that all presidential ballot has been counted. We know every presidential ballot has been counted. So why is Jane Mensah and the EC not giving us the final result? It is because Mahmoud Bawumia got less than 38%. But it is looking like all the diplomacy and all the niceness. We have been very nice. We have been very cool. It's about time we, the people, made Jane Mensah understand the Ghana Nyanidia. She does not own the country. She does not have the country as her property. We will have to show her that she needs to work for us. We are going to mobilize ourselves. We will mobilize ourselves. We will come out in our thousands. We are going to come to the Electoral Commission. The Jane Mensah administration needs to come out tomorrow morning with a final presidential result, election 2024, or else we will all not fit in Ghana. At this point, we all know John Mahama won the elections. We want the final results from the Electoral Commission. We want the final presidential results from the Electoral Commission. And that should be done in less than 24 hours. This is a message to the EC. In less than 24 hours, if the Electoral Commission does not give us the presidential result, we don't care about parliamentary. The parliamentary results will deal with itself. It will take care of itself. In fact, there are courts that are there waiting for parliamentary election conflict or issues to resolve those problems. At least we know that every presidential ballot has been counted. The EC has no excuse. The Jane Mensah EC, they have no excuse. They cannot plunge this country into chaos. It is a deliberate move. It is a deliberate move by Akufo-Addo and the NPP government to destroy the democracy of this nation. We will have to stop this plan by Akufo-Addo. Jane Mensah, Bosman Asare, we are giving them 24 hours. In less than 24 hours, we need to get the presidential results in Ghana, or else it will not be pretty. Or else it is not going to be pretty. And we want the NDC to release a statement to tell the Electoral Commission that we need the presidential results, the final presidential results. They need to update us. They need to give us the final number. We don't care about parliamentary. So this is a message to the NDC, to the chairman, to the general secretary, to the president-elect, to the vice president-elect. This is supposed to be done. So many people have died because of the negligence and stupidity of Bosman Asare and Jane Mensah. We cannot afford this to happen again. So this is a straightforward caution to the EC. In 24 hours, we will If we don't hear anything from the EC, we will gather the biggest force in Ghana to walk to the Electoral Commission. We will use every arsenal in our pocket, everything. We will use our platforms to gather the biggest human gathering to walk peacefully to the EC's office. We need it. It needs to be given to Ghanaians. It is our right to know who won the elections. We want the final figure. Jane Mensah, in less than 24 hours, bossman, if we don't get this, it will not be pretty. Your respective homes, it will not be pretty. We don't want you people to push us anymore. We are done. We are tired. We say presidential elections, we are giving you people 24 hours. The presidential results on your website, we need to see it. Since you came out with the first result, ever seen there, you have not updated us again. You have not put anything on your website. You have not, because we all know somebody can abandon in a way. Presidential, or Ghana, you can't in a way. Meaning, baby, I ain't kind presidential. I don't know anywhere. Mubet say the presidential elections, you can't. So at this point, why don't we have the presidential final results? Why are you people always pushing this country to that point where our democracy, the best say? Why? We are going to protect our democracy. And some people, if they have to fall, they will fall. This is a warning. We are demanding the final election, presidential election results. This is a demand from Ghanaians. We are demanding the result in less than 24 hours. We are demanding the presidential results of the 2024 elections in less than 24 hours. Or else, you will see the biggest gathering on the streets of Ghana straight to the Electoral Commission. This is the final warning. This is our rights, and we deserve to know. So whoever is watching us, we give the EC 24 hours. They need to update their website. They need to give us the final presidential results. We need it because we are the ones who paid for this election to be conducted. It is our property, and we deserve to know the result. 24 hours. 24 hours. In the next 24 hours, if Mensah decides to keep the final result, it will not be pretty for anybody at the Electoral Commission. It will not. All right. Now, this is some of the stories I want us to deal with now. To me, upon today's show. Now, you see the story. The transition team, I catch the NDC for say, you are not supposed to treat this NPP government with soft gloves. They are crazy people. They are deliberately destroying this democracy, and we are not supposed to allow them to destroy the democracy. Into the idea say, even the transition team, when they go for meetings, after meetings, right now there's been meetings between the NDC incoming administration and Ekufuor administration where the transition committee was put together. It was inaugurated. But what is happening? They say, even though in the meeting they have come to a gentleman's agreement and say no recruitment should be done. No payments should be made, Ekufuor, the government, they are still recruiting criminals into our security agencies. They are recruiting criminals into institutions, people who are not qualified. They are blowing or bloating what we call the national purse. They want to create some kind of deficit. Into party foot soldiers are qualify to enter any institution. They are still employing. Abraham meeting. Martina John Mohammed Akase, you are not going to employ today. The committee, the transition team, they have released a statement and they sent this strong statement to the NPP. Almost say, Honorable Chief Justice. Sorry. This is the transition team. No, letter release here. This is the letter. Almost say. The transition team of the president-elect, John Dramani Mahama, NPP for they don't want to show respect. They are still bent on doing their nonsense. And it has to stop. Now, this is what they are doing. John Mahama office actually let or say last-minute payment and recruitment by the outgoing administration. The transition team of the president-elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has noted that despite an agreement reached at the second meeting of the Joint Transition Team held on Friday, 13 December 2024, that last-minute recruitment, payment and such other actions be cleared with Joint Transition Team, the NPP government continues to undertake these activities without recourse to the agreement. John Mahama, the office, and in the Transition Team, the letter about Bontin say, "Omoni NPP for tracing Transition Team na kase, mamunya any more recruitment, mamunya any payment biya, baby ayedun munjina wa na yenya de woseye." And so almost the woman who said, Nana the Danko Kufuado Abino, any a munipa, Omono Matnase, Iron Krata Kase, and you say you recruiting the Pebia, your funny Pebia, not yet Chesika Sibia Maubiano, they are doing it. Into they are sending a message, say, they are being very disingenuous. Nana the Danko Kufuado transition team, no, they are insane, they are stupid people. They don't care. They have broken the law. They want to even put more criminals into our security institutions. They want to pay some monies to some individuals who don't deserve it. Into John Mahama administration said they are sending a message. Now, second paragraph, I'm saying the transition team of the president-elect wishes to state emphatically that given the bad faith displayed by the government, all these payments, recruitment and transfers and promotions, some of which have been backdated, will be reversed and, where necessary, public officials responsible for them held to strict account when a formal transfer of power takes place. John Mahama say, or catch a transition team, they say, Nipa mo for musisiana, my agreement, semi phobiano. Sanyame boa, na 7 December, esweni in our reverse in yina. Who officials were shall see or backdate appointment? Say you find nipa be 2 years ago, you find nipa be 3 years ago. No, so official I shall see no. John Mahama say onya tumia na ye be hwehwe nkratema. Wo sa nipa na wo hye ye be jelu. Almost say they are telling obia sebi oya for the juma around this time. Abaya for say resist and move away from that, because John Mahama had the one in the Mekufuado. Do not, because matna say akasa. Much less say, yen your promotions, yen send it yen to sika mobia, yen sa and recruit ain't John Mahama buying a catch. Mo amudi any ma moba date a appointment letters. Mo moma some fake promotions ewa abaimu. Mo chia sikebi anisa mutiano. Almost your mobile do reverse it, and mo commit a crime, no, you end up in jail. Now, Oko Asiawa, the final paragraph, almost say, John Mahama say, for the avoidance of doubt, all public officials are strongly cautioned to resist pressure from outgoing political actors to engage in these acts, as they could attract severe consequences and when the new government takes office. John Mahama say, so you buy munipa, we a chief director, we a wine, we a manager. Now say politician be more pressure, say for nipa be a juma, for the padudo be a juma, to your sikebia or sijai. And yes, sir, omoba power will be jail. And this was signed by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, spokesperson, Mahama Transition Team. You see, Makachre NDC for say, do not see the MPP, this current administration, say they are good people, they are bad people. So we see utterances after losing the elections, cry. So we see kwasiakasa omo kind of parliament. Said ya omu nu omo. They don't even know that they have hurt people. They don't even care. They see it as this is politics as usual. Omu Ghana for say ye Jimmy. So the NDC administration, the coming administration, they should not treat this NPP people with soft gloves. John Mahama should be hard on them. Those who have to serve jail time have to serve jail time. Those who have to be beaten have to be beaten. Those who have been corrected have to be corrected, because we cannot allow lawlessness. People breaking law and making it look like say omane etimuno emrani minim, and then they can do whatever they like. Something drastic needs to be done to reset this nation. And if you are going to reset this nation, you are not supposed to be nice, because these fools are people who don't understand simple language. MPP, for a majority of them, they don't care about Ghana. They see us say because the president himself, he does not respect the Constitution of the Republic. The Chief Justice, as we can see, these are people who don't care about you and I. Into what I want the NDC administration, the incoming administration, to understand and say, when you sit on the table or at the table with these people, don't treat them as mere normal politicians. Treat them as enemies. They are dangerous. As we speak today, they are still planning and plotting how to kill your president-elect. Yes. When you go to meetings with these people, don't see it as a brother and sister thing. These are crazy people. If they get you to kill your president today, they will do it. They are bad people. You people should not treat them as people. And we can hear and we can see it from their actions and their utterances. They don't care because they have stolen to the point where they think they are so powerful that opposition cry, they can use the money they have stolen to suppress the people. That is what, and that is how they feel now. So my advice to the transition team, now you know clearly that these people don't care. You know clearly that these people don't respect you. So don't show them any respect. Do not show them any respect. Let them understand this is not business as usual. Let them understand that this is a new government. This is a government that is coming to reset the nation. Strategic government needs to be nullified. We need to reset this nation. We need to make sure the right thing is done. It is very, very important. It is very important. Because these people will do everything possible. They are bent on doing everything. Hey, let me tell you. Open Nipa or Ghana or under spiritual attack pa in Ghana today, John Mahama. Open Nipa or under spiritual attack. Every 24 hours, it's not easy for him to come out of 24 hours, John Mahama. And Akuma Pantina, he's still alive. Nana Danko Ekufuado them, they are still working everything to kill John Mahama. I'm telling you. John Mahama Nakuma Pantina is still alive. John Mahama Nakuma Pa, the good heart of Wontino or Dahotiase. Say Onyankopon Emma Kwaya, they will kill John Mahama. I'm telling you, it is only the protection of God until John Mahama is still alive. The Ekufuado team, they are crazy people. I'm telling you, people. Don't underestimate these people. They kill their own and laugh. They kill John Kuma. They kill they kill JB Dango. They kill and laugh. They don't care. And they will go every length. The priority of Ekufuado is to make sure John Mahama Obekunu answer 7 January. That is Ekufuado's priority now. And Meka Obia or under spiritual attack power in Ghana today. Every 24 hours, be able to be survivor. Also, John Mahama. He is going through a lot. It is not a joke. It is not a joke. You are not supposed to treat Ekufuado and Nkofo as humans. We need to treat them like criminals. We need to treat them like animals. We are not supposed to create any room for them. These are dangerous people. They kill their own and laugh about it. They are dangerous. They are scavengers. These are dangerous animals. They don't believe in the Ghana we all want to build. They don't believe in the resetting of this nation. They don't care. They believe, they need to take power at all costs. That is why we are not supposed to relax. We are supposed to be vigilant. And the Electoral Commission say in the next 24 hours, result of the election, sir. I am sending this message to the Interior Minister. You cannot handle this. I am sending this message to Henry Korte. The Electoral Commission, some put peace in this country. Some put in the next 24 hours, the Interior Minister sit with Mensah and tell her to release the final results of the presidential elections. And I'm sending this message to you, Henry Korte, because you know what is right. I respect you and I expect you to do the right thing. You should sit with the EC and tell the EC that to make sure you can maintain the peace in this nation in 24 hours, we need the presidential final result on their website. They need to come out in a press conference to tell us Ghanaians the John Mahama Nyaye and the Bawumia Nyaye. And yes, sir, in the next 24 hours, the EC will not see anything good. I'm telling you, people. And I'm sending this message to you, Henry Korte. It is your job to maintain the peace in the country. We are at least giving you the respect. You have 24 hours to sit down with Mensah to give us the presidential results. We don't care about parliamentary. There are courts that can deal with the parliamentary issues. We are concerned about the presidential, and we cannot wait anymore. In 24 hours, we need the results. And yes, sir, the EC office will be an enemy to the people. Now, there's something I want you to understand. And now, where they be at the MPP for no, and they want to create something in your head. Time at your Mahama called Jubilee House, Okushi Ekufuado. Ne Ekufuado Kasano. And I'm sure a yet Bibi man say on can a yes speech nim. Say, oh, the country economy has recovered. Omoboa. We steady Ekufuado, any finance minister we are. They every time they get any opportunity to speak on camera, almost say we are handing over a strong economy. Omoboa is lie. The economy is sick. You know why they are doing that? They will come back very soon and tell you, say, time and I free power. Now there's a video. Ekufuado can say economy ni ye. They are lying. Ghana's economy is dead. This guy is doing politics. The economy, Ghana economy, I say there's no money. And they know, say economy not say, but propaganda no more ye. Almost person after 7 January, no. What they will do is say they will cut the pieces of a year almost statement. You know, better TV. So hey, time and ye free abemuno. Ye catch there a Mahama say ye a very robust economy. They are lying. These are the people who told us in 2019 say our economy was resolute. COVID-19 hit here and you said we didn't have an economy. Anytime you see this finance minister also in Kremoni or Munafiki, we on kind of correct. Or you preko. In Kremoni papa or then mama bought from a sala every day or kind of correct. He will not lie, said the economy is robust. He's lying. A Yakufu Adamona catch and say on Kasa na omuncha tapes and to send a beya omuko positioner. What they will do in the say, they will come out and tell you, say, oh, Mokai, John Mahama called Jubilee House, no. Now the Dan Kwekufuado in his speech said, the economy is a strong economy they are handing over to NDC. Omoboa, the economy is dead. Where are you preko? When you papa, a criminal. Achim for be this kind of order nekatama ebeta free binino. Achim for 7 years. Omo disika a car 2 minutes mayor and rose more for 10 years boaba kumra no meta free binino. So Amin Adams, he's being used as a wipe to clean shit. Amin Adams, Ken Oforiata any MPP, Achim Sakawa for 7 years. Ye can't say for the Empam Oforiata when fear. Omo we are Ghana seeking you, we are no 10 years boaba because Amin Adams Jimmy for our catcher babeta free bini. Ghana's economy is done. I say this is jandam, a propaganda. Almost shadana omu thrown into the system. Omo per se, omu media for no be fat. Hey, munim, when the moment go back, moment go for video no, Ekufuado cry no, time Mahama call no can Amin Adams cry before John Mahama yes so in or can boa. Economy not say, John Mahama say, Sam Kwasia for way sorry, I'll be books in much we will see what these people have done. Omanya 10 year boa ba kuno mu use no. This guy is just using his tongue to clean the shit of Oforiata. No Ghanaian should trust these people. Ghana's economy has collapsed. These are the same foolish people who just told us, say, they didn't have money. That is why they did not pay NAPCO beneficiaries. They didn't have money. That's why they couldn't recruit nurses. They know there's no money. They know the economy is a mess. They just want to have some sound bites using in opposition. That is why this foolish guy calling himself Amin Adams. In Kremonia on kind of correct. You on Kremo for papa, eh? O Kremoni be or Bemba Omia on kind of correct. Baomia down for be or Kremoni be or Muna Fiki on kind of correct. Every Muslim you see on the Baomia Nyonkono or you preko. I am telling you. Me say. Kremoni bia obehuni bia one ba omia nam one ne ya damfo bia na owi preko onye kremoni papa ebinie. This is one of the pork eating Muslims in Ghana. He's a liar because oyen kremoni papa ode mama bofom kan okura onka sase we nche Ghana for abra onim the mess that has been caused by Baomia and NPP. Now here bia AC, let me show you something. You see this? ECG inaugurates new prepaid intelligent master system in Kumasi. The catch them say, as Antimini and Masantifo. MPP, they be a meka, me say sebio oya santini anya kwasia yesi ECG4 and MPP do big Mahama Kronfo no saa kwa no me catch before election say meters about napo ekos sabae no e was said do big Mahama no oton ni nyina meters na gu fie na ewi musika nyina napo deal and on it do big Mahama any haptel for and a commutia boom and na omu bumu and almost sorry almost okumase omu di meter bia ba ho almost friend prepaid intelligent master system meter e dia be ni intelligent master system meter almost omu di meter bia ba kumase na sa meter na ba kumase no intelligent prepaid intelligent ready almost say omu inaugurate de bia almost starting kwase so no starting kumase o ba catch them ready me minimum cry me ya me say MPP for person starting kwasi asemi omu mbu asante for en kwasi asemi no omu refrin kran aba inaugurate intelligent meter ukumase buzangu sa dentra because they know they don't respect asante for omu nim sa asante for do no musa questions omu nim say MPP for do mu go no sebio MPP hu asante for ni bi so mo yankokọ into ofrin kran watra nkokọ watra joso watra eye tech watra eye watra eye fumesa watra eye okrofum watra ho nyina de aba eye de kejetia oso be lunch bibi efe no eye intelligent prepaid intelligent meter now my main kind story in chiro kwasiafo MP before we Jim fucking ti assembly. The innovation prepaid master meter is set to replace the existing postpaid and prepaid meters currently in use for residential and industrial purposes. Almost say smart meter no, intelligent meter no. Sir, recently, almost prepaid meter, almost have a sano. Mr. P, there is an interview of Dubik Mahama, either at City or Joy, talking talking about these meters. Me catch say Dubik Mahama a crowd force, say Jinu Budukuno. Onum George say ofui that foolish guy. Oni haptel for no oma destroy ECG. Ka bia wo Ghana bia opebia Dubik Mahama obi. Sa kwa no mekire ne kafia. Dubik Mahama mekire ne kafia wo Ghana. Say last not ho eno ye tu no. Kevin me say Dubik Mahama obeko jail. Hwe ECG operations about 32% ni nyina eyeka. Under Dubik Mahama. And or say some meters no de brem na nsia 300 me ma me fie. Do you know how much they buy in a week? 1,000 Ghana cedis. Lights. Yeah. A fear I remember team. They buy light 1,000 Ghana cedis in less than a month. After 1.5 weeks, they have to buy 1,000 Ghana cedis credit. And these meters they are using are meters omuji end 6 months. These are the same meters at ECG the bromo. Are they chinya ECG say I or say the meter for fraba where they are friend intelligent meter. Meter need to make toilet no copy part to we are not the toilet to das bi mu no abebo meter intelligent anajo ya da no otumi si from no nkran ne dia agro we are na akotare da ho intelligent meter otumi bu nsuo 34 bucket no da kwesi dan chi no water flowers no asa betare da omo the intelligent meter ba kumase intelligent meter anajo otumi ko wurom koku den otwen na wayi ni yemu bini no da abeyan kwan onum wi a no asa akotare da ho intelligent meter enkwase asaba nkofo we ti Ghana edi no intelligent meter. And our guy story now. Mr. Asumeni Wiafe, General Manager, Ashanti East Region of the ECG, speaking during the unveiling of the new meter at the Mensah district. Unveiling the new meter at the Mensah district office in Kumasi said the new smart meter was anticipated. Hey, I watch it. I watch it. Come on for the mom.
Yo, we are best fishermen. No, no answer mine. I watch it. You will for Belgium front. It will be a Belgium front. It will do a Belgium front. Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? want me to Belgium one, Belgium one, Belgium one, it will do a Belgium one, Belgium one, Belgium one, it will do a Belgium one, Belgium one, Belgium one. Why you yell? Why drown? 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 Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Why drown? Why you yell? Why drown? I want it. Original.
All right. I watch it. Okay, we can go back into intelligent meter. Yes, almost starting to Mensah district. Hey, now when you ebia what you can't show. You be intelligent meter. I say MPP for the Kumasi intelligent meter. And then I can't want some children. Anticipated. And the Abedruha anticipated. Now I see, Mr. Asumeni, we have General Manager Ashanti East Region of the ECG, speaking during the unveiling of the new meter at the Mensah District Office in Kumasi, said the new smart meter was anticipated to address the issue of power losses and enhance revenue generation. He said electricity pilferage continued to pose a significant challenge to the company's smooth operation, and that the new prepaid meter was equipped with advanced features capable of detecting tampering, commonly known as illicit power connections. Say the meter for your friend intelligent smart meter. Now intelligent smart meter no be starting with Mensah District or 24 area ho. Now meter na your friend intelligent smart meter. A meter be a sebio madana jono na esi form na ekokeje tia that according to store more amount to store me o keka kedo na sim smart meter. Modern adwena ma ya deda no meter ni tumi si for no ahyehyet na okokeje tia na wa store bia ya nto credo bi no akesim kra so e bia pure water na wan chichire na wachechire in time of for na smart meter sa betare ho smart meter no edwuma bia odin ni se e bia sebio uye beifo na e bia bia akwa no anya nam oba smart meter tumi koku otwe na odi emu otwene niyemade no ebini na yankwan esiwo na watena se atwen wode ne nsa wode abonkwan no de sini hwena no inti wo beifo no ba na se woni nam a na wotwa enam ni bi no wato owia na wahyehye de wakotare da no smart meter no almost smart meter ebetuma yema kumasefo ne se ebia wo de sebio abrochira nko bi da smart meter tumi sore nwumbre etumi fast etukọ akra koye ba passport no age visa na de beto kan na de be kine da ho no abetare ho smart meter we nyina ye be ye no Mensah District smart meter de obi ani se nyoma bi otumi ye MPP for smart meter no nyoma bi etumi ye ne se ebia uye nipa bia ono Petition pa na yaka cho sa na jo beda men nom kese nti wada no smart meter tumi e de insuo kakra be fra Petition no se na be ahomache se wo pe push up a onum a enye strong na se woni so e betetom kakra smart meter tumi ya sa nyonya no asa beda smart meter meter bia sa meter no anadwoma da no e bia kitchen ho nkura na mo a why wanyim de nkura otumi wura ho no apam nkura no ebia mo ya benkwan mo ankata so no akata so ebi so ebia mo ya jollof ena ebia beans kakra wom otumi ewrewre nchenchen se na be ya eye emmoa bi entumi te se ntafrem ba ho owrewre nchenchen no a no de de rubber akata so no akata chensitire no so smart meter tumi tire fie moda no otumi nwan so hiesi wo anopa dum so ba mutumi de bi dware ahomache no abetare ho smart meter wenyi adwuma ye no Mensah District Messi MPP omu asantefo se mo jimi abotwe chechire mu kire omo waye wanyim da nkura mba
yo we are best fishermen no lo kodo no asomai abotwe iwo fufu bajun kwan iwa betia bajun kwan ewo tuwa bajun kwan why yo ye why round why yo ye why round why yo ye why round why yo ye supunu why round ewo fufu a Belgian one, Belgian one, Belgian one. That why me tell Belgian one, Belgian one, Belgian one. It will do a Belgian one, Belgian one, Belgian one. It will do a Belgian one, Belgian one, Belgian one. Why you yell? Why drown? 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 Every papa no, what one is the motto? 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 Why drown? Why you yell? Why drown? I watch it. Original. I will go for bad. I want me to bad. Where you mind don't grumba.
Yo, where you mind don't grumba, yo. Ain't smart meter no, smart meter is a thief. I open meter there chronometer. It is a smart a smart sapon. Smart meter is smart sapon. Smart sapon a post we the say, oh, I didn't post number so na mami you. We Jimmy brutal. Akwano your post my people though. Ojo musika di we na say Mr. Smart sapon. Post ya we amfa ho baby anywhere ye dwuma so true. Time na omoya research na ade no. Edru baby no mami wuye nto mu jai koye yie. Omo ba ye no eno mu say omo beto aso anything shift e the post so we aboa. Mr. S, get me the story. Smart sapon ka kire MPP for say or to say smart meter smart meter say na tie akromfo mienu sa smart sapon na okoye MPP for post no on smart meter say ewifo mienu smart sapon say ono wakoye post ma ye to aba ni wie no ato afa ho ma amfa bebia o say oh true time na oye post ni ade no mfimfi na ne ma me wuye into ojato ho koye yie into oba na dynamics na sesa and it's not me we are now by now bet was no then I 50.9. Oh right, there you go. And before the Jimmy, all right, I mention story besides. Now, share story we na me cheche bibi munchiro. Oh, besides, where's that story? Smart sapon beka kire say ni ma me na wuye ntina eye post no. O say ohun say MPP fo na Jimmy. I have a story to show you, but me say, Mr. P, Mr. do you have that story? When you get it, just send it to me. Smart sapon. Was so why we go on enya kwase on na Paul Adamo chigina o ka kire and the matter say Paul apologize to Musa Dan kwase obewu before 25th. Hwe Smart sapon we that MPP for ko sika 2 million. Also what ko post obebo mo wini and so jimo fama no. Or say why bibia MPP benya 50.9 but omia they will carry the and NSC ate. Afia to abadi we Smart sapon so oh ne maami wuye time na oye no post no oye research no inti mfimfi no ema nyoma bi ye rough. Na maami wuye akoye yie ba ye no so sa beto aso. Inti ye den na wunya 50.9 ma ba omia. Mrs. Do you have the Smart sapon story? Baby, I make no heavy. I me say, me chiro said the American enyatro. Sane be ya utie me every day. But say Kevin there. So who say okase obi ejimi for or reason to okase nipa dey ejimi for. Mr. P, if you don't have it, I can move on. Team, get me the story. Smart sapon reasons not mine. I think we had it in the archives. It's very important. Okay, team Ninja ready. When they are ready, they will send it. Now, I'm mention a story. You see this story? I am a forecaster, a very important CBTS assembly. In time before catcher will say, hey, some people before catcher will say, hey, they are handing over a strong economy to Mahama or Bois. This is what the IMF is saying. IMF is saying, tackle energy sector deficit with bold reforms. IMF edges Ghanaians or edges Ghana. IMF for catcher Ghana for say, your energy no. On say and the whole Ghana doom so ho. In Kofu we only doom so not to temwache. What na doom so almost 2 years. Some say no kre na yenka ye jimintra. and the amount of radio so no dadaye. On say and the whole Ghana there's doom so. These people my experience doom so for a long time. Now point and when say we for toilet ATM catch say yen compare timetable mbra. You see say right now in Ghana doom so is seriously enforced. The issue is that a kana ma batu no enye kakatoa. A car eye napo Dubik Mahama Ekufuado Busianfo no abatu in the energy sector no masa me think of we sorry aben wan abobu say nye easy hwe light na edundum no mo de asie na dum so ni ho na de ni won wo de ma eye de ma eye Ekufuado sorry muti dum so mu. And from now till time e be so John Mahama in no bra mo be bre as a nation no dum so mo be fame. Thank you very much Mr. S. Besides, which one is this? Besides, which video is this? Inti Brian Kofu ebe mama femu no. I am a fama mu warning say mu energy no, mu kanya no Kofu ya say no. I am a forecast mu say mu nye mu kanya, mu kanya mu nsem no. I am a forecast mu say mu ma mu ni nko ho na Ekufu adre ne eye ba wo miane na pomo. O ma say no. Inti dum so na mu dem no enye eye dum so physical dum so. Mo energy sector ne gu. And remember, Ekrobiano, so energy sector gu, our economy gu. And internet, they are not able to run the economy because they have been lying to you people for years. They have been lying to you people for years because omni say moved to do Jimmy. They also catch and say, oh, John Mahama didn't do so by no, John Mahama solve dum so. Yeba pako for oko parliament or smani pa aso for some kobon pa akosombo. Yeba pako for but na Ghana so. Okwe yi o Ghana nyina wetuman so dum so. Yeba pako for obetna Ghana so. Oko asori e wo Ghana nyina yeba pako for entumi ansolve e dum so. Right now no dum so no ejinem enwumbre bi phone lines a mo bete mo masum. 90% of Ghana munyina muni kania ebi adem 3 days ebi adem 2 days ebi dem anadwo ya mene mo kase me say o ma say kuro no I am ever say on kan kire mo say mo energy sector no ba wo miane ba Ekufuado o ma say no o mo say bibie ni o ma say no enti so mo free power sibia ye ho be kire ye no nkofo yo mo jimi ye ka kire mo ye ka muntie ye ka bibia kire mo muntie na mo mankwasiafo ankyekede ma wei ejimifo wei. Let me go back to the basics. Story way. This Ghana web. Professor Smart Sapon's latest survey predicts Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia as likely winner of the Ghanaian upcoming presidential elections. And yet, Smart Sapon Smart Sapon is a criminal like Eddie. Smart Sapon is a criminal. Now, listen to this.
Professor Smart Sapong, the fact that you had projected that the NPP's message was being received by the people of Ghana.
Well, good evening to your good self and our cherished viewers. So, two things, if you ask me. One, because as I said in my address earlier, the frequency of my expected study would not come on because I missed out on 2 different study periods due to the demise of my mother, which took most of my time in the year. So I got the opportunity to do one in October. I started in October 16th and terminated in November 16th. One, because as I said in my address earlier,
Smart Sapong, the fact that you had projected that the NPP's message was being received by the people of Ghana.
Well, good evening to your good self and our cherished viewers. So, 2 things, if you ask me. One, because as I said in my address earlier, the frequency of my expected study would not come on because I missed out on 2 different study periods due to the demise of my mother, which took most of my time in the year. Would not come on because I missed out on 2 different study periods due to the demise of my mother, which took most of my time in the year. Of my expected study would not come on because I missed out on 2 different study periods due to the demise of my mother, which took most of my time in the year. So I got the opportunity.
Mensah catch there say, ni post no, entumi nsisi so efisa na mami wuye. Erade Jacobo, ye Jimmy o, MBB there. No. MBB, obe Jimmy brutal. They say, Smart Sapon, or catch the Ghana for Smart Sapon, or try MPP for tro. I say, ye election or say, oh, none of my mere would know yet research, and anything insists so who's a way Jimmy. Yeah, Smart Sapon. Sa ade we no be catch the Ghana for the MPP for MPP winning ba omia 50.2 Smart Sapon kwasa some de be kire mu ni ba omia winning 50.2 na 50.2 na nda form na omu wie na sa kwase campaign ni Fred Paul Ademo kire no Paul Ademo kire omu wie na mo koma Paul Ademo kire Paul Ademo kire onu koma Paul Ademo na Paul Ademo so be gina TV so kwase a onu so ba ye an ye GBT muntie Paul Ademo kire
Dankwa, global, he should tune in. Tell him, send it to him, DSTV channel 277. Producer, take this out of the social media, please. DSTV channel 277 and YouTube, Good Evening Ghana. Facebook, Good Evening Ghana official. Tell Musa Dankwa, Joyce Bauer, tell Musa Dankwa to tune in right now and listen to the way the PhDs do their statistics, not the thing, that thing. Okay, please go. You explaining to me about how you get it.
Oh, kwasi ade omo ye. Kwasi afo mpenifo, omo hwe wanyina agogo. Kwasi a jantre ni ba kwa ya kwachi ne se o report about Germany. Paul aboa. Paul kwasi a omo gina TV so no mo dada mo. Ade akini ato abade wie ya eye Smart Sapon se o na ne maame ewu ne maame wu yentina. Kwasi a we gina se ono a PhD holder. Me catch him se mo PhD no. Ene kele wole paper pe majority of you mo ne na Ghana kwasi afo. Obi ti Holland ka chem some PhD na ekuta mo no nyansa ni ma kwasiafo na mbofu. Majority of PhD holders in Ghana, you are stupid. Majority of you cannot apply common sense. You so because a PhD automatically does not make him intelligent. You need to sit and analyze ahead in a thought process how his delivery is. Kwasiati says Masapo you say a PhD holder do him nyansa. Paul Kwasia kotina law school went to pass law school exams. Kwasiafo ajantina for me na begina TV so we should come and look at PhD. Ye wie ya Kwasiafo and Paul Aboa wo gina TV so pa Musa Dankwa chew. Enti anka ye wuo bi na nka nipa be wu a anka Paul Ademo jantina ni be matese wo. Anka Ghana fo wu odwan o se chew ne bukom. Wo Paul enti nka ye wuo bi na nka ye kowu a anka do wana nta Kwasia te se opuroba abegina nka wakun Ghana fo. Adan a Kwasia bi so o ye PhD holder and Kwasia mpanyi Smart Sapon TV so say ne maame ewu ntina we nya predictions right.
Professor Smart Sapon, the fact that you had projected that the NPP's message was being received by the people of Ghana.
Well, good evening to your good self and our cherished viewers. So, two things if you ask me. One, because as I said in my address earlier, the frequency of my expected study would not come on because I missed out on two different study periods due to the demise of my mother, which took most of my time in the year.
Now, sa research now your own way. Intend all yaria obian to aso. Aqua we research do no ono or factor in ballot stuff no. Ono ni research no. Odu Ashanti regional no calculate about a beti egum no the any maths. Onim yansa bia ho. Jacob. Sa aqua we a friend Professor Smart Sapon said the no. Odu Ashanti regional. Or any research na or the ballot stuff na ka ho. Enti the oya no say we do Ashanti regional no aye calculation okay send your beti egum ma me fan ka eye e me research no ho. Enti oba no kuta na adwene da say ya tie egum 500 ene na me de ka eye de me ko ka no ho. Into obetena wa no abeji almost $2 million for MPP for also okoye research resounding one and no na be mo elections wa di kwase o nanim fin no abeji na TV so na Paul Jimmy we on pass exams bi on abrabo mu china ka say Joyce Bauer call Musa Dankwa the PhDs are doing kwase afo ye the PhD amekufu ala chichidie kwase ampanyi we ya third class student, a economic student. Ekufuado drug addict, kwasia way, Jimmy way, anuncio way, on in a be the president, and kwasia for the Denemaye. Sankoma, Kofi Bento, Paul Adomoche, Kwekubako, Egbert Febo, Kwame Sefakan, and Kwasiafo Obi, or Mani Kobna Sante, Galian who see out Maryland, Equia Pocky, a Jimmy 4-way Munina Ghana, say young Fati Chidia way Magana, Hebi Abedu, in Gaima. Kwasiaba, Obetina Maryland, Kwasiaba, Equia Pocky, or Maryland, Kwasiako Gane. So Abedun Super. What be wants to say who could turn the power or to say or chinya obenya hospital at dema your own kwan beje wabo or chamber. Why when him sembrim set that the support kwasiaba obetina Maryland o say ho yentu galam say ho now do kwasia na kwasia tribe TV Sony radio so Ghana catch Ghana for say ye ne ati abro check kan kwasia asem uti Maryland wure mu o kan kwasia asem when nim say ho sapa so support abuofunu most say asantefo yen kan yasem and na motetam ho peace FM wufin also be do America you are nobody and then wutim unu ukunu dan mo the basement ama han abuofunu mo betena ade na wontu nkotena Ghana na mejinsa bro kirenye na mejinsa ha yanum nsupa ya jimi mejinsa ha de ya tetete bonkum ade na wontu nko Ghana odwan ba mo tete radio sene kwasiade jimi Mokin yesi obituary stories so be ya ade o got radio so o de obetumi na motiti radio so ade every time ye ne ya radio a che kwasia oti radio so che so journalism ekuya poki o hu fi and obetena bro kire sra o so na pa na do na si akonwa so na de nku afa oturum o pese o hu ye fe odwan to we gine na betena ni panim hu fi sa pofi kwasia 47 na motiti Ghana kekan kwasia 7 mekai Embra yesi ye the warrant to Kevin Taylor so na kwasiaba we akofra kwasiaba ma te se den Morris Ampaw ama betra TV so lawyer in your experience in the law no 20 years in law experience no yesi a branch friend Kevin Taylor no Interpol ko fa nemra na kwasia na mpo ne nisa ponchiri tie baby ekwa na say dey wa unim Kevin Taylor dey Interpol din baba on the see no sibia judge no any warrant atoro so no de hian say the Ghana government no on US embassy for nakasa into mdu Kevin Taylor and one say brocho am hand over no na ba nti ya cha be 3 days they Kevin Taylor me say hey mo ye ndan ma hu o ekuya poki Abidjan Cleto say de na wo de sra pokre na wo de sra o be so ye kokko kwasia wo hu ade efe wo betena de insupa hu e pa ade efe and utim kunu da sra wachi Onya fe oba na wo fin te se ahwaka ase ai ekua we dey say efia we dey say nya den kura anye wo na why law ache enti mu nchekire Kevin Taylor yes je ba for say yemfa Interpol ye dey eya to ne so warrant o say ende no efia eno asem na ye kan no Kevin Taylor ne nipa bi asebio asem no abe out of jurisdiction enti sia no e wo say etumi ko America ne American government kasa enti me no kase dey acha be 3 days ye den baba so enti wo hwe experience na e be den na matumi na so na say so American citizen kwa and the Interpol ni dia omunim say wabokro no ade ade warrant atoro so nkwa de Ghana dia oso mutuma ne ba so any ate ase mumunya mu ye jantra for ma mo ya aboatwe mo jimi aboa oba front say wabetena brochire o se mu de meka so be kofie meka so ukunu ne meka so kotena wuranim wabetena ha betufo kwase aba ene dia wo se nkofo mbra school abrochire ukurom baby a ufri nipa guo se moa obetena ha ye asantefo ye MPP fo odwan oba ha baby wa han be bo jantra akotena hospital a o wo se odwan no na oba tibite won na obi ante wonko a one room ukuru ni nti se woma kwase aba ma no da mpa so hwew obebo jantra beje paper tikrom ha mo bodam ohun na mo titi radios na mo jinsa Ghana na no ano no because kwase aba upia bontina them lady dear lady Jimmy Mohun ayila la da mudi TV so my say moama ye kan sama Ghana upe me krama dia no di kura e Ghana na enso mentumi fa mfidi me kraman na wote sa a dime phone akwa ne sin wo mu ehye to kuro bi mu teta wo ho ka ho na ye ne even lady na ye de Peace FM kwasiaba so betra di pam ye di dey na me dwinse mo ba anka mo baba me ye DC assemblyman na me dwinse mo ba bo me din na nka me bese mo ye mema ne ma anka mo ba kuro mu a na mo age mic na mo bo me din ka bo se kuro mu o captains wa ha oba be se bonku mu din anana just one bim lady no me just say be political show wona nka me see edwuma bi ani obetuma ya cha pan comfort to edwuma be na we share and the pokre na so na pa na do na esi akonwa tiri so na do for asrem ade am pesa me ye fe na me kotena TV so Ghana fo mu se meti aburuchire pete ekua poki pete ufin abotwe cool me down.
Yo, we are best fishermen. No, no answer mine. I'm watching. You will for Belgium front. It will be a Belgium front. It will do a Belgium front. Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? Why round what? Why you're here? Super why round what? It will for Belgium front. It will be a Belgium front. It will do a Belgium front. It will do a Belgium front. Why you're here? Why round what? 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 Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Yeah, we papa no. What one is the motto? Why round what? Why you're here? Why round what? I want it. Original.
It's exactly 7:57 p.m. US East Coast time. I got 3 minutes now, about 8. I got 3 minutes now, about 1. Ghana. It's been a wonderful Tuesday evening. We are not going anywhere. We will check the system. We will make sure Jandam never rises up again. Any journalist, any Ghanaian on social media, on traditional TV, radio, whichever platform, you have the right to talk about John Mahama. You have the right to criticize the John Mahama administration. But make sure whatever you say, you have the facts. You have every right to use any word or whatever. But make sure whatever you say about John Mahama, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the John Mahama administration, you have fact backing it. I swear to God, anybody who dares, whether in Ghana, out of Ghana, tries to use their platform to denigrate people without facts, this platform will die with you. Until we make sure you are buried, we will not stop. I have started my 2025 attack on Samson Ayinini until he proves to Ghanaians that I am not credible. He will not have peace. He has murdered sleep, and he will sleep no more. As far as we are here, and all the people on my platform who are willing to be honest, speak the truth. Let me tell you, when the NDC government goes wrong, I will sit here and let them understand. When John Mahama decides not to do what is right, I will sit here and let him understand. But there's one thing that I want you to remember every time. I am not going to look on for anybody to use Jandam. Mema obia ho kwan manem fa atro and ada Ghana for. Mema obia ho kwan manem fa atro NDC Ghana for. Mema obia ho kwan manem fa atro engu John Mahama ni NDC for anima say. We will protect the NDC. We will protect the government. We will make sure that the right things are done. You have the right to build a platform. I don't have a problem. You have the right to criticize John Mahama. I don't have a problem with it. You have the right to be free to speak your mind. But make sure whatever you are coming up with, you have facts to support it. No room for Jandam. Jandam is dead. My name is Kevin Akobedu Taylor. I will be back to clean the system. Tomorrow, my guys will be on TV. In Koto, Free Mind, all the team, Ransford Kebuache, they will be delivering. This is the only platform you get CNN, Al Jazeera, all the educative shows. And yet, the things that you don't get to watch on any TV in Ghana, this is the only platform you get. It is commercial-free TV. You don't have to change the channel. And tomorrow, around 11 a.m., this show will replay. So if you missed some part of the show, don't worry. You can watch the rest tomorrow. My name is Kevin Taylor. Be good. God bless you. God bless me. Cheers. Krrr, da krrr.